That was a fail, okay. That was hilarious. That was not meant to happen. Hello. Hi. Hi, Acha. Hi, Robert. Hi, Shan. Hello, everyone. Nothing. No accidents happened in the beginning of the stream. Absolutely none. There's literally no accidents. I did not accidentally reveal what I was doing behind the scenes as the music was playing. Nope. None of that. Anyway, I tested out something. Yeah, totally. Nothing happened. Nope. Nothing happened. I was messing around. No accidental docs. It wasn't a docs, okay? It was not a docs. It was just an accidental reveal of behind the scenes. There are no accidents. Exactly. There are no accidents in Bossing Say. An absolute banger of a start of a stream. No scuff. No. What do you mean, no docs? Crying face. I was messing around with like some new settings because usually when I play with my PS, I would face my TV and my computer would be on the side and I wouldn't be looking at my computer. And when I do a just chatting stream, I would be on the side looking at my computer. We are React ending to get exactly. What is it called? I would be on the side looking at my computer with my microphone on the side and everything. And I thought, you know what? If I could connect my phone, if I could connect my computer to my TV, that would be really nice. So I could like watch on my TV, and then like the setup would still be exactly the same. And as I was fumbling with that, I accidentally pressed transition on my OBS, and it revealed everything. And it was like, oops, that was not meant to happen. It was not meant to happen. It was meant to be on the sidelines. I guess putting the transition button on escape is not a really wonderful idea, but you know what? I'm used to it now. There's no way of not doing it. It is what it is. Anyway, yes, we are React ending today. Do I have like a PNG for that? Do I want to use the reading PNG? Do I not have a PNG for like React ending? No, I don't, it turns out. Maybe I should make one later on. It's fine. We can use this one. I don't have a different PNG for React ending. Maybe I should make one in the future, in the near future. Okay. So, as we were saying on the stream title, it's literally there also on the Discord. It's literally right there. We are going to watch the making of Outer Wilds documentary. It's a 50-minute video, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be pausing in the middle, and it's going to be like an hour or 2 hours, or I don't know how long. I can yap literally for 3 hours about the game. It's so good. Yesterday I finished it, and it was wonderful. I love it. It is arguably, well, I mean, yeah, it might be the best game that I've ever played. I will never shut up about it, probably. It's amazing. And anyway, I don't think the game needs any introductions. It's a really awesome game. Let's start. Excuse me, why is it not starting? Oh. Wait. Did you think about the game afterwards? Hold on. Wait, this is funny because the noise is coming out from my computer and not from the TV. Wait, scuff. This is hilarious. Displays. Is this how this works? Did you think about the game afterwards? No. No, I did not. Or I could just do this. I did not. I most likely like just sit on the game and was like in awe of whatever just happened. I don't exactly really understood what happened in the end. It was like, huh, philosophical things. We love scuff over here. We absolutely do. We absolutely love the scuff around here. Okay, this is now coming out from my TV. Perfect. Yeah, I did sit about it, but I don't really understand anything yet. We'll see. We'll see. I think we can rewatch the VODs and be like, okay, what the heck is going on? What's happening and everything after watching the documentary, because we have 3
Hello
hours
there,
just to
traveller.
nerd
Please,
about this.
Come, sit down, rest your weary legs, grab a marshmallow. I've got a story to
Do we
tell.
need captions?
Today we take a look at the design of Outer Wilds, an award-winning critical hit which has been slowly building a cult
We do need
following
captions.
since
My
its
TV is
release
not
in
good
May
for
of
speakers.
2019.
I
This
can't
is really
hear.
a game that's best played without knowing anything about it. So at a certain point, we're going to hit pause and let those of you who have yet to experience Outer Wilds an opportunity to get off. But before we get to that stage, it's probably about time we talked about the unique origins of this game.
Outer Wilds was designed by a
Marshmallows,
small studio
also.
in Los Angeles called Mobius Digital Games, but years before, it started out as a student project. Alex Beecham was completing his master's thesis at the University of Southern California. His thesis project would be a game that attempted to break new design ground, while pulling in several disparate ideas from some old student prototypes.
Interesting how it started off as a student project, because I remember when I was still in university, I went to film school. My teachers were telling us to keep whatever projects we had in university as quote unquote portfolio, especially in the beginning of our career, because we don't have a portfolio yet, and it could be useful for whatever we think it would be. It could be useful for our careers and everything. It's really, really interesting. Oh, are these
We
initial
wanted to make
designs?
a game where you're exploring a world as it changes over time, and really
I did
dramatic
tell you it was a
ways, just
student
to get
project
away from the
way
idea that game-
before, months ago. Listen, Shan, I think we've established my memory is literally really bad. Especially if I'm not paying attention. And I'm pretty sure I was not paying attention when you said that. So I apologize. 2, you probably should have known. You probably should have known.
game environments are these static things. It works well with space exploration, of course. I wanted to make something where you fly a spaceship around, and to get to that feeling of it's super, it's dangerous. You really shouldn't be in space. Really wanted to do Newtonian flight mechanics, where you're just drifting with your ship, and the planets are hurtling around the sun. And then the other part of the really core part of the thesis was the idea that make a game where the only reason for players to explore is to sort of satiate their own curiosity.
Yeah,
It was
that part
inspired
is
by this part
interesting.
in the Wind Waker, where there's this photographer and he has an art gallery, and you can talk.
Because even in the game itself, you don't really have a linear path to follow. In most other, even in most other open world, quote unquote open world games, you still have quests and check marks and stuff that you have to there's a basically you get handheld basically throughout the whole story. You should go here, you should go there. You can explore everywhere else, but this is the intended path. And in Outer Wilds, you have none of that. It's you go in here blank, you have no idea where to go, and you're just let's explore.
To him about the paintings he's put up on the wall, and they're all actual photos taken from real locations in the game. And it's cool because you see a photo and you're like, wow, I wonder what this weird statue is, and he will tell you where he took the photo. And so if you're curious, you can go check it out, but the game isn't telling you to do that. Outer Wilds in some ways,
Yeah, the game isn't telling
was
you to
a
do
response
anything.
to Skyward Sword, because I'm a huge Zelda fan, and Skyward Sword is emblematic of just all of the things that I just pain me to
This
see the
is
Zelda
part of the
series
reason
doing.
why
And it
the
goes-
game gets so emotional by the end. You did everything you did by your own volition. It gets personal. Yeah, it gets incredibly personal. Incredibly personal. It's your own. Yeah, it definitely is your own experience, and you're oh, I did this because of this, and I did that because of that, and nobody, well, besides because I stream, chat gives me hints, but if I'm playing it on my own, it's nobody's asking me to go here, but I'm doing it on my own, and in the end of the game, I managed to go here by myself. This is so amazing. This game is
the
wonderful.
space exploration theme, where we wanted to make a space exploration game where the reason you're exploring space is to learn about the world and to gain knowledge and not like to conquer planets.
Yeah, this is what I
Our
expected.
ideal version
Because like when I saw the graphics in the PS store, it was like outer space, and I was like, oh, I'm going to conquer planets. This is like the really normal way to like the really typical space game kind of thing. But no, it turns out you're literally just learning about stuff, which is like, it breaks the expectation, but like in a really, really good way.
version of real-world space exploration, more in the vein of 2001 Apollo 13.
I'm pausing so much. I'll
The
stop.
things we learned at USC was like the value of playtesting, the fact that no matter what you do, you're going to put it in front of somebody and it's going to break immediately. I went there along with Loan Verneau, who was the other designer on Outer Wilds. We were in the same class together. Our favorite classes, I know, for us were the ones that kind of let you do it, like you do a project like thesis prep, you kind of go off and do something maybe on a prompt, but then you all get together and you sort of talk about and critique each other's projects. We had a class at the USC, the Masters, Interactive Media Masters program. It was called World Building. I don't even remember what the assignment was. We just had to like build a thing, build a world or whatever. And it's just like, I wonder if I can like make a spaceship that flies in Unity was sort of, and I got it working. It's just like a little like physics box. You walk inside of it and walk around, go to a cockpit and like lift off.
The initial model for the
just like a
spaceship?
terrain height map. What would spherical planets like Mario Galaxy style, but maybe a bit bigger in first person be like? And I made a planet that was bombarded by meteors and broke apart, and a bunch of asteroids with mushrooms on them, and a lighthouse in the fog with these big anglerfish. And then in the thesis prep, we had this prompt called do something with the uncertainty principle. And that led to this prototype of there's the cabin and all these trees, and they would move when you looked away and just sort of shift around. And then there was this other project where you flew a bunch of these little tutorial ships and then had to get into a big
that
rocket.
I crashed
the idea was
like
that,
20 times.
once you've played, even though it's all virtual, once you've played with like the small version of it, the real version feels dangerous. And so that was like just a one-off thing. There was one where you threw a probe and had a video. So just like all these different ideas that sort of just got duct taped together. And then the final one I think that really mattered was, this was because the point of this class was to sort of figure out what we wanted to do with our thesis. And I just pretty much couldn't let that spaceship from the previous class go, even though it was sort of like silly. It's just like, we're supposed to be doing stuff that like kind of pushes the medium or whatever. And I'm just like, I just want to play with the spaceship. But one of my colleagues, Simon Wiscombe, was like, you should make an emotional prototype, because I was struggling with sort of like, what is this going to be? And so instead of doing all this mechanical stuff, I made this quick prototype where you roast a marshmallow over a fire, and then you're on a little planet and the sun explodes. And you just sort of sit there, and it's like a fireworks show. It was like very rough, but it was still
this
like
is literally
pretty.
what
then,
happened.
You know, all the planets went out one by one, and then finally it hits you.
Really cool. Like
at the end of thesis, we had the solar system. We had the planets conceptually as they are now. Some of them changed somewhat, but that's more or less the version that was at IGF in 2015.
And the award for excellence in design goes to Outer Wilds.
wow. Okay.
So when we started Outer Wilds, we just wanted to make something where the only point of exploring was to learn more about the world, and there would be no objectives, there would be no missions, and we just weren't sure people would be into it. So thank you for being curious to explore this janky world we created.
Thank you for being curious.
And a big thanks to the USC Games program, the Laguna College of Art and Design, and Atlantic University College. Clearly could not have done it without any of them.
I remember sitting at GDC, because I was at GDC at IGF that year, and I like saw Outer Wilds winning the Excellent in Design
Art
award.
director,
and I was just
okay.
like, this game doesn't look very good. I'm like, what's up with this weird student project winning all these awards? I could make better art than that. And so then when I heard about the job, I was like, I could make better art than that. I guess I'll
It
like,
could make
I'll
better
play
art
the,
than that.
alpha build that's free on the internet. And then it was 4 a.m, and I was trying to get to the center of Dark Bramble, and I was like, okay, I have to work on this game. And then 2 weeks later, I moved here and worked on it.
All right, the 2015 Seamus McNally Grand Prize goes to Outer Wilds.
Wow. I do not know what these prizes are, but winning
Thank you
awards
so much. This
as
is
like a
insane.
student project,
and we're
that's
I'm just
that is
tremendously grateful
amazing.
that for the team and for all of their hard work, all of our crazy players and people who traded stories on the internet. Thank you for exploring and just everything. Thank you.
Usually a story like this would end when somebody won an award, but the timeline of Outer Wilds doesn't exactly follow a straight path. Winning
Like
the
the
IGF
game?
did change everything for Alex.
Doesn't
Suddenly
follow
he
a
found
straight
himself
path,
at the
just like
helm
the
of a
game?
that a bunch of people wanted to fund and publish. But we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, so let's rewind.
After he'd left school, Alex went to work on Project Spark in Seattle.
Listening about the experiences of like the game devs when like they're in school and like, oh, we're learning about this thing, so I made this and that and this and that, and it's like, wow, so literally everything you did in school was just combined basically to create this whole really awesome game with like all these really interesting mechanics that is just great. How do I say this? Like that makes sense in a way, because like most of the time when you have an idea, we think that we have to build it from zero, but no, most of the time what we want to do is to take our experiences from the past and our ideas from the past and kind of just like mash it up together, and it's just like it creates this like really amazing piece of artwork in the end. That is so cool. To think that a student project would actually would actually benefit in the future. That is like crazy to someone who kind of like does not care about their student projects anymore.
But had returned to LA to work at a new studio founded by his former classmate Loan and a surprising benefactor. Actor and producer Masaoka was interested in starting a video game studio. Before his breakthrough role in Heroes, he had worked at ILM, creating visual effects for movies, including the Star Wars prequels.
Okay.
He had approached the head of the department at USC about hiring one of their students. Loan was recommended, and the two founded Mobius.
I think he's always been, a very creative person, and video games were always a big part of his life. I know he was.
Best part about the story is just like the game story. The game didn't come from one person. It's an amalgamation of many different projects and ideas from students before. Yeah, it's like the whole background is like you and your friends. It's like literally the ideal career path, for any creatives out there, because usually this doesn't happen. This is like an amazing like dream that kind of like came true, where you and your friends did things and you're like interested in one single thing, and then you make a project that is like you said, an amalgamation something of like a ton of ideas and experiences that you guys have had in university, and you create this wonderful piece of artwork. Because like that doesn't usually happen in like university colleges in creative, like at least in my experience it doesn't usually happen. Me and my friends tried to make a production house once because we all loved creating film and everything. It is very, very rare. Yeah, it's just like wonderful because like me and my friends tried to do that. We tried to make a production house. We love making film, we love doing things. We fell off. My sister tried to make like a creative house. It fell off too. It's like it's super rare to find people in the same university who's like joined together to create this one beautiful piece of artwork since like university. It is like incredibly rare. Everything just kind of like fell into place. You just met the right people at the absolute right time in the right place, and you guys did not, and like they did not, kind of like they didn't let go of the dream basically, and just like strived and kept working towards it. This is even more wholesome than I imagined it would be. Because like if you see Outer Wilds and you've like played it and then like, this is like a pretty cool game, probably one person made it, and it's like one person had the idea, the rest of the people made it. It's like, no, everyone loved the project, everyone is excited, like you can tell. everyone's like excited for the project. Everyone is involved. Everyone just like is just like really passionate, and it's like no wonder you made such a great game. No wonder you made such a great piece of artwork, I would say.
Like he cares very much about the team itself and our work culture and the way we collaborate and that sort of stuff. So it's been really great.
In the early days, Mobius worked on mobile games like Terra Chroma and Beacon 38, and after a few months in Seattle, Alex moved back to join the team. His side project, Outer Wilds, wasn't part of the Mobius portfolio, but after his success at IGF, it had made sense for the entire team to focus on it. Alex signed a deal with Massey to bring it in-house.
See,
they
right
hired Wesley
time,
as art
right
director
place,
and attempted to secure more
right
funding
people.
by being the first
because
game
like
to launch
if it is like maybe any other game studio, they probably wouldn't even like look at it and like would just let it go to the sidelines. But like whoever the director's name is, whatever, like people in Mobius was like, this has potential, let's actually focus on this, because when it won an award too, it actually does have potential. Like that doesn't always happen. Right time, right place, right person, literally everything, just it's amazing.
big campaign. The original idea was to give them an extra year to polish this version of the game and to get it out the door, but this loop didn't exactly go according to plan. During this year, they were approached by Annapurna about publishing the game, but Annapurna didn't want a flipped student project. They wanted the best possible version of Outer Wilds. So after a year of work, most of the art had to be redone, but this extra time also allowed much of the more interesting elements of story and world building to be
so
added
glad
to
they
the
took
game.
the extra time.
Early on, there was the idea for the structure of the game was that we were going to have these 4 major secret locations. They were each going
I'm
to
so glad that they took the extra time to build the whole game.
Curious about. And then
Because if they
everything else in
didn't,
the
it
world
probably
was gonna
wouldn't
point
be
to those.
as
And
great.
Each curiosity, I think, was going to have.
Oh, it's the
about
4
3
locations. What was the 4 locations? Is it, wait, 1 Quantum Moon, 2 the Vessel, 3 or the Probe Cannon. What was the last one? What is the last one? I'm thinking, what is the last one? Quantum Moon, Orbital Probe Cannon, the Vessel. Was the last one the Interloper? It's not, right? Is it the Interloper? How the Nomai died? Outer Wilds rumor map. I've finished the game. Oh no! Oh, Ash Twin Project, right? Can't believe that I forgot Ash Twin Project.
Sort of connecting clues. The idea was the clues would point to each other and also point to the curiosity and have the clues.
Right,
And
the
that
rumor
structure's,
map.
like, sort of still
That's
there,
why it exists,
but we
because it's
added
like
a bunch of other like clues.
the
pointing to
clues pointing to each
you know,
other.
It got
Not-
more complicated.
Not Quantum Moon even. No, what do you mean? Quantum Moon is there, right?
Friends, we've reached a fork in the road. If you have yet
It
to
is,
play
yeah,
Outer
Quantum
Wilds,
Moon.
then this is your opportunity to get off.
Hit
Quantum
subscribe,
Moon,
smash
Orbital
that
Probe
like
Cannon,
button, close
the
your browser,
Vessel,
and boot up your
and
favorite video game machine.
Ash Twin
We're gonna
Project.
try and skirt around solutions and some of those bigger reveals, but as a general rule, we're entering the spoiler dimension here. So
Yeah,
you
don't worry
can
about it.
Ready?
I played the game.
All right. Let's meet the planets.
I played the game. I
do
finished the
remember
game.
It was early in thesis year. I wish I had a picture of it, but I just remember like there was a whiteboard, and I just like started drawing just ideas on the whiteboard, and then just circling like 5 or 6 of them. And one was the Hourglass Twins. One was just like a bunch of thorns stuck
It's
together.
so cool. The Hourglass Twin. I realized why it's called the Hourglass Twin after I finished playing, because sand, it's like time, right? Sand. The Hourglass, it's like Ash Twin fills the Ember Twin. And then it said somewhere in the lore that at some point Ember Twin, the sand will fill back into Ash Twin. Kind of like an hourglass where you rotate the sand like up and down. Like I just realized why it's called the Hourglass Twin. I was like, why is it called the Hourglass Twin? But like when I thought about it, it was like, oh, that's why. That's really smart. That's so cool. Yeah, it's a little tidbit stuff about
Brutal
me
Hollow
and
was
my
sort of from that
clueless thing.
world-building assignment, like meteors hitting a planet that breaks.
Yes.
One with a
Devil's
gas giant,
Furnace. Oh
but
my
just, like,
gosh, that's a
conceptually
name.
Not like the way it is in the game. Oh, and then the
Oh,
comet, just
I
because
realized
they're,
I
like,
never went.
elliptical orbits.
I never went inside that moon. Like, I wonder if there's like some important thing in there that I did not go into, like Hollow's Lantern. I've never went there.
It'll look cool on the map. Let's throw a comet.
I didn't even know if we can
Maybe
even
if it gets
land
near the
there.
sun, we can do something with heat.
The joke we always make
The
about Outer
Nomad.
Wilds is it's the game you're not supposed to make.
The sun, we can do.
The Nomad. Ooh, interesting names. These are Brittle Hollow, right? This is Hourglass Twins. This is us. Giants Deep. There's Dark Bramble right here, down here. This was the Interloper. This is the Interloper now. It's the Nomad. Interesting.
Something with heat.
The joke we always make about Outer Wilds is it's the game you're not supposed to make.
It's a game you're not
'cause,
supposed to
like,
make.
The way you do nice lighting in games is by static objects that don't move. Everything in Outer Wilds is always moving. The way you like make games is on a grid in Maya. Everything in Outer Wilds is on a sphere. Any like thing you expect out of game development, we just kind of had to throw away and figure it out. And so each planet had like its own weird problems to solve, where it's like, you know, we think we figured out how to make the terrain on
Lunar
Timber Hearth.
Lookout.
And you go to the
Interesting.
Hourglass Twins and it just doesn't work at all.
When Wesley applied for the job at Mobius, he had a few things going for him. He had worked on a number of large projects, including EverQuest, Microsoft Flight, and HoloLens. But
I
before
don't
he
know any
worked
of
in
them.
game development, Wesley spent his youth growing up in the Santa Cruz Mountains on a campground surrounded by redwoods. So when it came to creating striking visuals for each of the planets, he knew exactly where to pull inspiration from.
Early on, we decided to reference national parks. Timber Hearth is a combination of Yellowstone and Sequoia National Park.
National
and a little bit of Mount
parks.
Rainier too, because on the surface you kind of have like the alpine trees. Brittle Hollow, we looked at like Greenland and Iceland, like the basalt rock
Interesting.
stuff, which at the time there was like no games that did that, and then every game that's come out in the last 10 years has had that environment in it.
Okay.
Giants Deep is probably the least based on an actual park. It's
This
sort of
place
loosely
scares
inspired by
me.
like the Santa Cruz like
This
beach
place
cliffs,
scares me a
whatever.
lot. Even more than Dark Bramble.
Our friend Dark Bramble.
You know, it's your
Friendly neighborhood planet. I
The
can't.
stage was set. Mobius
This is
had
such a
established
friendly
its solar
neighborhood
system.
planet.
6 unique worlds locked in a celestial fire circle the player would dance again and again. Each of these worlds
Oh,
was
yeah,
designed to
I've
be
never
unique,
tried
and
that.
so each of them was a unique design challenge. The clock is ticking here, folks, but I still think we have enough time to take a trip around the solar
The
system.
clock is ticking. How smart. How smart.
The first one we did in after the Fig campaign was Timber Hearth. We worked on the village, which shouldn't have been the first thing that we did because it's one of the most complex areas in the game. I think we remade the village about 6 times throughout development. The village was sort of
times.
like we would keep coming back around to it every time we would improve the art style. It's like, all right, how can we make the village better again? We need to like fix all these things because, you know, playtests would show that people weren't finding
This
the right
is like the
tutorials.
There were a lot
initial
of problems with that
design
version of the village, but people
For
just
us?
weren't excited to go
Harshan?
into space because everyone they were talking to was like, "Why would you do that? Why would you go explore the cosmos?" Really early on, they were like kind of antagonistic about the idea of going into space. It was like, okay, we're gonna make the player's gonna be the one who's like excited to go into space, and everyone else is like, don't do it. Like, oh, this is having the opposite effect. And so Kelsey and I talked, and came up with the idea of, okay, you're the newest astronaut in the space program. Your village has a space program. People actually want to do this stuff. It's a bit quirky, but we're
I
gonna get
see.
you
Okay.
excited about space by having everyone else on some level be excited about space.
The last version of the writing for Hornfels, who is he's the person who gives you the launch code, and he's also the only mandatory conversation in the entire game. And you know, initially we're trying things like giving the player the option to ask what their mission was or where to go next, and then he would go like, yeah, it's up to you. And what we ended up with instead was we reversed it. You as a player, what do you want to do next? That ended up really working, like surprisingly well. And because you know it's a selection, we gave them a few ideas too, right? It's like if they didn't know what to do, we still gave like, yeah, there are some things you could be interested in.
Right. That's like that actually worked really well. I mean, me person did not pay attention to the tutorial phase of the game. I mean, quote unquote tutorial phase of the game, which is Timber Heart. Me, who did not care about that, did not realize that there was a part of that. But like that's really interesting, right? Because like most of the other games, kind of like handheld, you kind of like tell you to go here, go there, go whatever other place. But here it's like, well, where do you want to go? And you as the player is like, oh, we have options here, and I can choose the options. It's kind of like giving the player the idea of their own, what is the word? They have their own, basically it feels like they're the one who's controlling the flow of the game, which, like, I mean, yes, that is true. That is exactly what happens, but like in that specific conversation, it's like, right, I have the control in this game. Me, I determine where I want to go. There is no quests. There is no what is it called? Checkpoints. There is no kind of like achievements thing that you have to follow. It's just you, yourself, your spaceship, and your own curiosity. Where do you want to go? Kind of like that idea. Volition, exactly. Your own volition. Basically, it's just that. English no work. Oh gosh, no. This is
Giant
literally...
Steep was originally just going to be a gas giant. It wasn't going to have an ocean. But we wanted there to be islands like floating in the sky. But we were like, how are we going to get islands? Like, why? Like, how are we going to get that to work physics-wise? Also, like, just conceptually. And we're like, well, maybe there are 2 layers of fluids of different densities. And it's like, well, one could just be water. Oh, it's an ocean planet. Then we're going to toss them up with tornadoes because we can do that.
That is so interesting. I hate this freaking planet so much because I did not know I was scared of deep water ocean things, specifically in games. It was an experience, and like Giants Deep being literally the first planet I went to because I thought, Gabbro, okay, let's go meet Gabbro. Went to Giants Deep, saw the tornadoes, and be like, what the heck? What is this planet? This is scary. Is this a horror game? It wasn't. It's interesting because the game itself isn't trying to be scary. You as the person just feel scared because everything is just like, is like that. It is the... Everything is as is, and you feel your own sense of like either helplessness, feel that sense of being really small in this whole entire universe, and like it's that makes you feel scared, but everything around you isn't trying to make you feel scared in a way. Outer Worlds does invoke a lot of phobias: ocean, water, claustrophobia, dark spaces, dark ramble. I love that dark ramble is literally its own category. DLC is more scary, by the way. I mean, at this point, I kind of know what to expect. It's like, it's not that I know what to expect. It's like the dangers around me that I feel is just by my own fear, in a way. So like, yes, it is scary. Yes, I feel scared, but it's not because the game is a horror game. It's because it's a mechanic that is like not normal to us. And so, well, you saying that makes me feel actually like maybe the game is trying to kill us now. But but basically the game, the Outer Wilds, the base game basically is like the quantum mechanics. It is kind of creepy, right? It moves when you're not looking at it. Accidents could happen. I've seen a clip where you literally land on the Tower of Quantum Knowledge on Wither Hollow, and then a tree spawned right under you, and you get launched into space, and then you yourself is kind of like, you die, basically. You die. And it's like, that's scary. That's like a jump scare. But it's not because the game is trying to give you a jump scare. It just happens because of the mechanics of the game. My favorite line of dialogue in the game is, the universe is as we are. Exactly! That line is absolutely gorgeous. Because the universe is. It just is. And like whatever you think is like scary, it's just it just is. It just is, you know. As we are. It just is. It is absolutely gorgeous. And like again, like even though I am constantly scared in this stupid freaking game, I still like it so much because again, the game isn't trying to scare me. It just is. And I'm just scared because I am scared. Solanum says it before embarking on the quantum journey. Yes. It is absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous game. Ooh.
My favorite planet is Giant's Deep, just because I love
I
storms.
hate-
Like, was
I
really into
hate
tornado
Giant's
movies when I was a
Deep.
kid and that kind of stuff. So getting to make these
I
giant tornadoes
absolutely
was a lot of fun for
hate.
me.
Oh my
You have
god,
the
look
fluid
at that.
system,
That's
which
literally
is,
the
like,
first
pretty
planet I went
simple,
to.
but it's a
It's
student
so
project. You
scary.
just sort of take the things you have and just reuse them over and over again.
Exactly.
And so you use the fluid system. For
I
the
never
geysers,
went
the
to
same
the
from
Bramble
Hourglass
Island,
Twins,
by the way.
or
It
the
is
water on Giant's Deep. or
actually
the tornadoes
funny.
on Giant's Deep. It's just us reusing like the same idea. We're just gonna like take a force and fling something. To sort of lean into the idea that it's just all these pieces moving around and you're just caught in the storm.
Yeah, Dark Bramble
Bramble.
is sort of a weird case.
Friendly
The
neighborhood
challenges there were
planet.
very different. The biggest challenge was just the scale of Dark Bramble, because when you fly in, like, it's covered in fog, so you can't tell. But those environments, like, they're just huge in comparison to anywhere else in the solar system.
It was largely motivated that we wanted at least one of the planets to be a zero-G environment. And obviously there was something very large that we had to hide inside Dark Bramble. The planets in the game are like not that big. And we just embrace the idea of these sort of dimensional pockets that you fly through because it works really well with the lights.
Ooh.
Dark Bramble has ice around it. It's like, all right, easy, just make some ice. Well, it needs to look specifically like Dark Bramble ice, so when you see it on a different planet, you'd be like, hey, that's some stuff from Dark Bramble. I can't just make it look like ice because I used the ice-looking ice over here on like on the Comet or on Brittle Hollow or stuff like that. So it's like, okay,
You
how can I
gotta-
make this ice
you make the ice
still
looking
look like
ice.
ice, but look different from this other ice.
It's gotta specifically be the planet. I see.
The
Yeah.
binary planet seemed cool, and just the idea that something could transfer from one to the other over, because we're just looking for ways that we can change things over time, ideally in a way that is like easy for us. And I remember originally it was like, oh, it could be like water flowing between the two. And then sand just couldn't resist the idea that
Oh my gosh, if
getting-
they stayed with the idea of water flowing between the two, this planet would have probably been the worst planet I have to ever like explore. Even worse than Giant's Deep, because it would have been hell. It would have been hell. It would have been so bad. It would have been like phobia and thalassophobia. Maybe not thalassophobia. Maybe, I don't know. But like I have like in my mind, if this planet actually is water, I would have been so scared. This probably would have been the worst experience ever. Absolutely really bad.
Closed into these space, just knowing you're like, oh my god, I'm trapped and I'm going to die a horrible death. Just
This is probably the word.
in the final release,
worst death.
the tech and the art teams did some really cool stuff to make it look more complicated than a sphere getting bigger and a sphere getting smaller, but that's like all it is.
We think we figured out how to make the terrain on Timber Hearth, and you go to the Hourglass Twins and it just doesn't work at all.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we
Hourglass
came up with a
Twin
different
is
strategy
as
there.
claustrophobic
And
as
so
it
each
is.
planet had that. And for the Hourglass Twins, it was that it's full of caves. And so, as I mentioned before, you have two different curvatures at the different heights of a planet. And for the Ember Twin, you have caves that slope from one of those to the other. So not only do you have two different curvatures, but you have a ramp that has to match one curvature at the top of the ramp and a different curvature at the bottom of the ramp.
That is
And then,
incredibly-
you got to put all the props in
That
there and make it
sounds
feel good to move on.
very,
it's just
very
like a
complicated, yeah.
compoundingly difficult thing to do.
And yeah, I love that. I love that you can actually see the curvature of the planet. It just like makes it, one, that means it's like a smaller planet. Two, it makes it feel quote unquote real, because our planet is not flat. It is spherical, right? It is just like a exaggerated version of what real life is. It is so, it's like such a small detail, but like it's really cool. And I love how like the idea that all the planets change over time really sets into motion all these like crazy ideas. Like what they said before initially, well, they wanted to make something that changes over time. So they make one thing that like something that moves to another place and everything. And like that births the idea of the hourglass twins. I think about outer wilds as an abstraction of a real solar system. Yeah, it does feel like obviously these are not real. Like you can really tell these are not real. This is like fantasy sci-fi elements, but it feels real. And that is a beautiful way to explain how the game is. An abstraction of the real solar system. Like you can obviously tell it's not real, but like there's no way a black hole exists. Well, I mean there could be, but like, you know, a black hole exists in the middle of the planet as the core of the planet. Like how does that work, you know? But the idea, but like the concept of how things are constantly changing. There's like mechanics in each of the different planets, like unique mechanics too, not the same as other planets. Like it's so well done. Explain real. Like a lot of things in the game that would happen over a long period of time or would be huge into smaller and shorter periods. Wait, what? Like a lot of things in the game that would happen over a long period of time or would be huge into smaller and shorter periods. Yes, exactly. Things that happen over like long periods of time happen in like shorter periods. Explain real. I mean, I don't know enough physics in astrology to astronomy actually astronomy to like actually know what exactly is real in the outer space and not real, but like it feels not real in a way, if you get what I'm saying. Like it feels like this is a fantasy, but also at the same time this feels, because I think maybe it's because it's applying real physics into the game, it makes it feel like it makes it so immersive in a way. I like, again, I don't know exactly which ones are based on real physics and not, and I don't have enough understanding of those. The game uses a lot of real physics, but it also cheats. I mean, it is yeah. I can't, like, again, like I can't really exactly pinpoint which part is fantasy, which part is not fantasy, which part is like inspired by real physics. But yeah, but it is consistent. But it is consistent in its rules exactly. I love that. Like I can't pinpoint exactly which one is real, which one isn't. Like I can tell a sun going supernova, a star going supernova is probably an actual. It's like an actual thing, and like how it happens, the process in which it happens is, as far as my understanding, pretty accurate. I know that there are quantum mechanics too. I don't know how accurate it is, but like I can tell that it's like inspired by that. The gravity thing is also like real physics, right? But like I don't really know how far real it is, basically. That's why it feels that way. Yes, it feels like the world actually exists, and I love that. And yeah, you are right. It's consistent in its rules. If it cheats in a certain way, it will consistently cheat in that way, right? And if it's like it's following the real rules, the real physics in that way, like it will stay consistent in that specific way. And one, it helps you because, like, you know, it's a puzzle game, it helps you learn the game mechanics, but two, it also makes it feel so immersive. A star going supernova is a real thing, but there wouldn't be a million supernova in 20 minutes. Exactly. Exactly. That is also a line of dialogue that I missed, by the way. Like, I didn't miss. I knew that it was there, but Chert, whatever that guy's name is in the Hourglass Twin, in Ember Twin, he said something about stars going supernova and like a lot. I've seen like hundreds of stars going supernova. This is really, really interesting, or something along those lines. I was like, right. It just flew over my head, did not register that this is going to be the end of the universe. They will talk about it in the documentary for a bit. Awesome. It was awesome. Let's continue then, and I'll stop stalling.
We didn't have it in the alpha, but we had the idea for it melting. And then Lowen was the one who did the first pass on it. And then at some point, I went and did a pass on the surface and came up with the idea, because the comet wasn't that fun to navigate, just moving around on it, because there's not that much there. And it's like, well, what if the ice? What if you can just like slide on the ice? Like, is that too goofy? Like, is that tonally dissonant with what you learn in the comet?
What if you can slide on the ice? Also, I learned. You don't even need Shirt to tell you that. You can just notice it while playing. Well, me, non-observant player, will never notice that. I didn't even know that those stars are like stars going supernova. I only noticed it at like the end. Also, like, yeah, Actually, I don't know.
Like, is that tonally,
I don't know what I was about to say.
Dissonant with what you learn in the comet?
I forgot. It's so funny because like Brittle Hollow Outer Wilds kind of like wants you to be observant, and then me, non-observant person, plays the game.
The final boss for the art team was Brittle Hollow, because it's the biggest planet because it has both an outside and an inside surface.
Yes.
It's one of the biggest planets just in terms of diameter, and then it's one of the most complex in terms of level design and pathing and, you know, all these different things that need to go there, like 2 giant Nomai cities. It was like the hardest for every discipline of the game: design, tech, art.
Thank you for following, Skulls.
Brittle Hollow was originally like had a molten core. There was no black hole. And the pieces, I believe the pieces, like when they got hit, they were going to get jettisoned away from the planet. And at some point, it's just like, this doesn't actually make any sense. Like, why are they drifting away from gravity? Like, okay, can we make them fall in? How would we, like, where are they gonna go? They're just gonna like, okay, there's a black hole and it spits them out over here. I remember prototyping a version of that and then like changing my mind and being like, no, this is too much. It's like too crazy and weird, and like, it's not as colorful because like the black hole's all dark. Let's just like go back to the molten core and we'll add geysers that like from the core that heat water, and the geysers shoot these pieces of the crust off into space.
That's such a cool idea.
And then at some point it was just like, nope, the black hole thing was cool. Let's go back to that.
The black hole is incredibly cool.
And the idea of pieces getting thrown into space ended up on Giant's Deep.
Right. This is actually
it was like
so
hard to
cool.
tune
Also, even though I
at the right
literally hate
time,
it.
'cause it's a simulation. They have hit points and they get hit by meteors and they fall, and it's not scripted in the sense of like it happens in a specific pattern. It took a long time for design to like lock it, and then art had to go in and, you know, just fill it out. And there's just so many rocks on that planet, just thousands and thousands of rocks. And we put all those there by hand. It's not like procedural. So we make sure that you can see in the right places and that it feels good to walk on.
Oh my
and all
gosh.
that. And then with that planet, you also have to make sure that like in between the crevices, you know, you can't fall through in some places, but you can fall through in others where you're supposed to. Pretty much any challenge that you can have, we did have there. And there's all the normal Outer Wilds problems of you have curved surfaces with different curvature based on where you are on the planet, which is not something that a lot of games have to deal with.
It was supposed to be a bit overwhelming at first, right? Because you arrive in a city and it adds to the whole feeling of wonder when you arrive in a new place.
That
it's
is
like,
so
oh
interesting.
my God, there's so much. Each district has like one main piece of content.
I never thought about it when I was playing the
first
game.
thing you would
Like how the rocks fall and like how the mechanics, because like, you know, I'm not a game dev, so I have no idea about it, but like I never thought about it that all these rocks are individual kind of like parts in the game. Oh yeah, that's another thing. The game is a simulation, not scripted, which makes everything much harder for the devs. Right. That is Oh, that is interesting. So literally, all these meteors falling is just actually okay, quote unquote, like, I don't know how random it is, but like, it is random. You don't really know when this one is going to fall and this one is going to fall. That is so interesting.
Find when entering the district.
So
Like
every
another one of
object
the
is a
districts,
physics
you arrive
object
and
in the
there's a
game. I
big
never
waterfall,
really like
that sort of
like as I was playing it in my mind, I never really thought about it, but I like it's kind of like instinctual, you know, when like you play a lot of games, you know exactly which games is like a simulation and you know which one is scripted, right? It is random. Awesome. Okay. Like you know which one is a simulation, which one is like scripted. You can just feel it. It's a different thing. If it's scripted, it will always be the same. If it's simulation, it's like it'll be a lot more random. And like the thing that I noticed was that Giant's Deep, because I like scripting like as I was playing the game, I didn't really I couldn't like really put it into words, but I noticed that the length of when this island is gonna get flown into space is not exactly the same as it was before, basically, in like the previous loop. It wasn't like exactly the same. Maybe it's like slightly similar, like each planet will get thrown off like at least twice, but there was this one time where after the planets get flown up, it landed on the water, and then like almost immediately it gets flown up again, and that's like, this is not scripted. This didn't happen before. This is random. And like, because like I wasn't like thinking of the mechanics of the game in like that kind of way. It just didn't occur to me that it is a whole big simulation rather than a scripted kind of thing. But that is so interesting.
of like frames, 3 white, we call them Nomai whiteboards, but there's only one of them has text on it. So you're like, okay, I probably need to find the other 2 somewhere, right? So the first thing players see or the first thing player experience should give them a question, and then like the natural impulse is like if the player has a question in their mind, hopefully by then they go, okay, let me answer that question.
You're gonna die. Oh no. I thought you were gonna die. Right, exactly. It's like, I fall to the black hole. Do I die? No. Okay. I go. Oh my god, there's an ad. Why is there an ad? Didn't I stop ads? I stopped. Oh, I didn't.
It's like if the player has a question.
Okay. Oh my god, I didn't even. Well, I didn't even change the screen. Okay, you know what? It's fine. There we go. Ad's gone. Wait, why can't I turn on? Okay.
In mind, hopefully by then they go, okay, let me answer that question.
Exactly. It's like, I fell into the black hole. Will I die? No. I went through the white hole. Okay. How do I get back? It's like natural questions. And also this one. What the heck is happening? Why? What? So I have a time limit? Like, these kind of questions. It's like, what's gonna happen? Why is this exactly the same as the one in the beginning? Why? Is it 22 minutes exactly? Oh my gosh, it's 22 minutes! That's so smart. This documentary is pretty cool.
Mobius had made an entire solar system for the player.
Check the
to
time of the video.
explore,
Yeah,
but this solar
22
system
minutes
didn't
exactly.
have any explicit
Gosh, that is so
objectives,
smart.
mission markers, or fast travel. So how did they let the player know where to go? And more importantly, how did they let players know when they had accidentally found something important?
We didn't want players to go look behind every tree and every rock and in every nook and cranny. So what he made sure of was that detail would always only be where content was. So like if you look at Timberhearth, you have like vast expanse of grass on the surface, and it's just grass, nothing there. And then each of the actual craters with content have incredible visual density of detail.
It was like a
That is
challenge
smart.
of like trying to stick as close to the gray box as possible. Because like every time it's like, oh, I'll put like a nice little tree over here, or like a pot, or like some sort of thing, and then like the designers would look at it and be like, oh, like actually there's like this very specific like viewpoint. You need to be able to see this clue that's like across this chasm. So if you put too much stuff though, you block the view, and it's like, oh god.
Lighting as well sometimes, just like if you keep everything relatively dark or like same tones, and then put a bright blue or something light there.
Yeah.
Immediately you notice that.
That is an important thing.
Audio as well, like there's the traveling music when you're traveling around, and then there's music when you're in places with content. So like if you enter Nomai Ruin, suddenly piano starts coming in and you hear the music coming in.
That is so
And
smart.
So it's all these little
Audio
self
cues and
clue.
like
If you
visual
don't have
cues are
that
so smart in
instinct,
this
there's
game.
something
It's
here, there's
so
not something
good.
here. Because of the way we structured the game, it is very easy to hide things. We wanted certain paths to be the first path you use, just from a narrative perspective. It was a nicer.
I never found that, by the way.
Find that place, but then we wanted quick shortcuts to get to back to these places, and we're all worried about how would we hide these, and like had all these, and it's like no, it's because we trained the players to not look behind any nook and cranny. We learned a lot of things in relationship to player, the way people perceive things, and the way players naturally go about it. Some of it was frustrating, like the natural impulse to see text as lore was definitely something we had to fight against. The natural impulse that most players have to need a goal. Hopefully more and more games do away with that, and so I'm hoping that slowly it'll be easier actually to do the sort of
Every
things we do in
text is
Outer
lore.
Wilds,
Yeah,
if
not
people get
every
more,
text is
like,
lore.
willing to set their own goals and get a bit more
But that, like,
proactive
that-
in trying to read things as a way to progress.
Outer Wilds is such a
That is such a small detail, but also like it's really smart because in a game where lore is like the entire thing, the natural impulse that every single text is lore is fun, but also no. No. That makes the game so much more immersive. So much more immersive. In a game where lore and text is everything, the natural impulse are like me as a player too to think that every single text is lore is like high, but the fact that you didn't do that, the fact that the devs didn't do that, makes the game a lot more immersive. Exactly. Arguably no text in Outer Wilds is lore. Exactly. The lore is the things we put together along the way. We don't. It's literally all the text in, like, how do I say this? Like, it's so good because all these texts are just literally conversations that are happening. But it's not lore. It is just clues to put together to progress, to progress the game. And the lore is the things that you put together from these clues that you find. It's good. It's good. It's literally a conversation between like things that happens. It's not like a huge piece of like lore. This is lore. This is what happened. No, we found out what happened naturally by exploring. So smart, so good. It's so much more immersive because everything is just a conversation of what's happening. So good.
complex design challenge that it's easy to forget the technical complexity of the project. While Alex and Loan led the design team, the game's engineering was led by another duo. Technical artist Logan Verhoef had graduated CS Games at US Santa Cruz and was a year behind Alex and Lohan at USC, while software engineer Jeffrey Yu had graduated USC as an aerospace engineer with a minor in computer science.
So technical art is writing shaders that run on the GPUs. So like, as well as setting up particle systems and setting up lighting and that sort of thing. So I did a bunch of math that makes the singularities look like they do. I did a bunch of math that made our lighting work the way it does. A lot of tools work.
Right, the lighting is also really interesting.
Gameplay code.
Other than
I hated it because it's so real, but it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Timber Hearth. This is what it actually looks like in our scene. Here's like the moon over here.
So how do you like work on this, considering it's like a sphere? Like how do you get in? And
I mean, if you just learn how to sort of work like that. So we're actually looking straight up right now, but you just because flying around still works the same.
Right.
You just learn to sort of work in this weird way. Sometimes people like work like this or something or that. Anytime I'm working on the underside of a planet, I have to do this sort of kick flip here. And now right and left is reversed.
Oh no.
But I remember that I'm in this mode, so I'm just automatically like, okay.
Each planet is a rigid body, like a physically simulated like object moving through space affected by forces. And so is everything else, like everything in the game is. You know, if we were a different game, we could get away with saying like, you know what, we'll just fudge it. We'll just like, you know, fake it when you're on this planet and it'll look right. But because Outer Wilds is a game about simulation and about truth and systems, that was top of my list for things I didn't want to do. Was fake anything. That is one of those things where we try to just like tighten it. We reduce the number of colliders on the planet. We reduce the complexity of them while still having it be a surface you can walk around on. So like if this coffee cup were a physics object, you know, the rendering mesh has all this detail and curvature and all this in it. Physics could probably just be like a 8-sided cylinder. And, you know, that's enough. You can fly around, hit the wall, bounce off, roll around.
Maybe even make it just, you know, a 4-sided one.
Yeah, if you don't need it to roll, 4-sided, if the player's just walking into it. So going in and finding places to cut back here and trim a little bit there is good.
A lot of people wonder like, hey, are they like faking all the caves inside planets?
Is the zero-G cave?
No.
It's literally zero-G because it's in the middle of the planet.
Yes, yeah, because you're no longer being attracted like the sum of all the mass. Now you're there and all the mass is around you. And so it's all pulling on you equally in each direction. So this is actually physically correct.
If you leave a planet, we do a bunch of stuff
that is
to
interesting.
Optimize it while you're not there. We switch to like a super low res version
that
of the
is
planet,
interesting.
You know, handmade by like Lara or someone else.
Colliders.
Yeah, turn off a bunch of the collision so we aren't updating all this collision math while there's nothing there to collide with. We suspend a bunch of scripts and a bunch of objects. The issue is that if you leave your ship on a planet and you go somewhere else, it still needs to collide with stuff.
We need colliders there. So
and furthermore, for this philosophy of like the truth in the system, if there's a geyser going off and it should be hitting that ship, it needs to keep hitting that ship. If the sand level is rising and it's like trapped underneath something, it needs to respond to that.
Right.
That means we have to keep all the collision and scripts running when the ship is left on a planet. When you leave a probe on a planet, you need to be able to take snapshots of it from across the solar system, which means all the rendering, all the visuals need to be turned on.
And if you have it right next to the geyser has to go off.
Right. Right. Everything still needs to go on. Even if you are leaving the planet.
The worst thing you can possibly do in that game is have the scout, yourself, and the ship all on different planets.
That's
and if you really want to go hard, I put the Nomai shuttle on a 4th. But like, don't do that. It's because we have to render at least some of what's going on. Like if you leave your ship on Brittle Hollow and a piece breaks, your ship needs to go through the black hole and get spit out the white hole. If you leave it on Ash Twin, we need your ship to get sucked up by the sand funnel, even if you're halfway across, you got teleported to Giant's Deep or something.
Right, I never thought about the rendering
really hard,
and
the tech
everything
team
because again,
kind of,
I'm not a game dev.
Worked really
I don't
hard to
really
make
think
sure
about
we
that,
didn't
but
lose the sense that this is a world
remembering
that
how
doesn't
game
revolve around
works
because that was one of the main.
That
selling
is a
pillars.
lot
It's
of
like not a player-
problems.
It's not supposed to feel like a player-centric game. The
'Cause it's a
world
big
doesn't
game.
stop simulating just because you're elsewhere, right?
At one point, we thought about making this an achievement, but then thought better of it.
Oh, no, we didn't think better of it. Annapurna got miffed at us because one of our suggested achievements was called Critical Performance Hit, and it was leave your ship on one planet and your probe on another and go to a third. And they were like, you cannot have an achievement be the player crashing their PlayStation or Xbox. Like, no, absolutely. Are you insane? And we're like, yes,
we're
but
purposely making people get
good
frame
point.
drops.
Like-
Yeah, it's like, don't encourage people to do this. And we're like, okay, that you're right, but not as fun.
What was that?
Okay. Good
Frame
point.
drops.
Yeah, it's like, don't encourage people to do this.
Don't
And we're like,
encourage
okay,
people to do
that-
this.
you're right, but not as fun.
What do you
Everything in
mean?
this world is moving.
When I was playing the game, all these technical stuff was blowing my mind because I knew how hard it would be. Yeah, like looking again, because I play games and I don't understand technicalities, but like as I was like thinking about it back and like listening to other people say it, it's like, wait, how does that work? Because it's so cool. It's so cool how you're doing it, but it's but it's so funny that achievement in the game is literally trying to crash your PS. What they wanted, cause like it's so, cause like it works, right? It works like that. I didn't have that happen actually. Did I have that happen? I don't know. I don't think I've ever done that, like 3 places at once. But like, again, it just felt really natural when I played it. If I send a probe out, whatever happens there, I will see. Like again, it's like a simulation. I just didn't realize the word for it is simulation. It's like instinctual. It's just so cool. That achievement didn't make it. Yeah, but like it's so fun that the devs are like, you know what? We could make one achievement crashing your entire PC. That would be so much fun. But it's just really sad that it didn't happen. But like, good to know that it can work.
Right?
Maybe
Is
try
the
that in the
sun maybe
DLC.
the only object that's not technically
Technically,
moving?
it is too, because the way we, with video games, you got to keep the camera near the center of the world's coordinate space.
Okay.
Or you start running into floating point error, and everything starts kind of jittering, and so we have to keep the player near the mathematical origin of the world. And the way we do that in this game, a lot of games sort of like you reach a threshold and they like reload the next zone, right? But because ours, everything's moving relative to each other. What I
Hey,
ended up
hello,
doing back
50
when I was a
caliber.
student project is just every time we apply a force to the player, we just apply an opposite force to every physics object in the world that's currently simulating. And it doesn't actually really do anything to performance because we're already doing that, right? We're already applying forces to every object because everything's moving. It's just another number on top of numbers. So
Right,
when you
this
jump
is
in
the
Outer
part
Wilds,
where-
technically every planet's jumping out from under you, and you're more or less not moving.
Right, this is the
So
part
it
where
works,
it's like,
and
that's interesting.
There's some like cosmic horror about that or something.
Yeah.
There's some like science. Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
it makes me recoil a little bit not hearing that.
Technically, oh, I'm a Clipper. Yeah, you are. Like, this is the part where we're talking about it, where like you're not moving, the planets are moving around you, and then you're jumping, you're not jumping, the planet is going down. So when you're flying, you're not moving, everything else is moving around, and that's like, that is so cool. And that's like, and the reason for that is because simulation, right?
I love it that
Interesting.
because we're always like, oh yeah, and the player is not the center of the world, but technically you are, like literally the center of the world at all times.
Gosh. Very, very interesting. Relativity,
Like the best
exactly.
sci-fi,
Hello,
Outer Wilds
Ichigok.
marries
Hello,
the
hello.
technical
Welcome,
with the
everyone.
emotional, and a large part of this heavy lifting is done by the narrative and musical score.
Oh
For
my
the story,
gosh.
Alex turned to his lifelong collaborator,
That was scary.
his sister Kelsey, As children, they made silly plays together and stop-motion mock-ups of the Star Wars films. starring
Einstein
Healy
would be
babies.
proud. Einstein
Kelsey
would
had
be
been
really
writing her entire
proud.
life and had often used a tangential form of note-taking, which inspired the Nomai whiteboards. I was
It's
eager
so
to talk to her about
cool
the
too, like the
wonderful
Nomai
personalization of the
whiteboards.
Nomai
So
using
cool.
these interplanetary telephone logs. But unfortunately, she doesn't live in the same state as the studio, so we did the next best thing and named our scout across the country at North Carolina.
Some of them are like literally just meeting notes. It's like, here's what we decided. And someone else is like, oh yeah, by the way, so-and-so wants to do this other thing. So having kind of a rationale behind why these things are getting written down and explained, to me just kind of added a sense of logic to what was going on. Yeah, a little less difficult to explain things because they're talking to each other. They need, everyone to understand what's going on. For how much Outer Wilds is a very narrative-driven game, I actually really love very character-driven writing, and a lot of my writing is like that. It's very
That
intensely
is, yeah.
about characters and about their evolutions, and I think that's kind of what the difference. I felt like that was what was going to be the difference between having an interesting story with interesting characters.
She wrote such great
versus the
dialogue.
more
She wrote
tropey,
amazing dialogue.
Ancient alien civilization who was here before us and is smarter than we are. What essentially the player is doing is they're tracing the same journey that the Nomai took. And then eventually, spoiler alert, toward the end of the game, you're, finishing that journey. And to really feel like you were connecting with the Nomai, I don't think people really connect with like a civilization as a whole. So I think it necessarily had to be very character driven, which was terrifying.
That is so.
because,
That is
you
such a
don't see these
great
characters,
like
and
choice.
Also, I had very small chunk of text to work with. And most of it had to be dedicated toward quickly advancing a complex story, and then also getting across your clues. And then, of course, the clues work as, here's what's happened, here's kind of the next piece, here's where you should go to continue chronologically in the story, and then there's like a little piece that directs usually backward of like, here's where I'd go to check out where this piece came from if you want to trace it the opposite direction chronologically. And then it usually connects into other things depending on who the characters are in that particular, because I use certain characters are attached to certain plot lines. So that when that character is present, typically that's kind of a signifier that plot line is coming into play and intersecting with this other one.
That is so smart. That is so smart. Oh, and Faye missed the opening in the vessel. Lana Mai will love it. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Everyone. Yeah. I think one of the biggest things that kind of like attached me to the whole Outer Wilds thing was literally just how wonderful they wrote the story. And I put that in quotation marks because we don't actually have a story. We only have texts and that are like clues to what happened. And that is really smart. And like as someone who studied in like film and learned that dialogue should always be effective. Dialogue, if you don't have anything important to say, don't use dialogue, just use visual cues. And like with the visual language, basically don't use the spoken language, use the visual language of like what exactly is going on. I really advocate for like effective dialogue, basically. Just really effective. I don't like it when you use dialogue to explain whatever the heck is going on. It is like, I can see what's going on. You don't need to explain it to me again. It's good if you like, you're watching back everything and like it's just dialogue, but you're playing a game. It has visual cues also. It has visuals also. You can see what's going on. I don't need to be explained exactly what's going on. What I need to know is what you think about what's going on, how it works, like all these other details and everything. It really is the best use of text, visuals, and player agency ever in a game. Dino Jr. Nah. Oh god, this Faye is different from the Outer Wilds Faye. And I have played a lot of games and nothing come close at all. Honestly, I have exactly. Like maybe I haven't, maybe not as much games as you have, but like I've watched a lot of movies. I've watched I've read a lot of books also, and like this is really, it amazes me a lot because every single piece of text is maybe not like maybe not a single line, like that one single line, but like the text as a whole just tells information very effectively. It gets it done, but there's like so much personality, so much character in each of those lines that it's like I start to get attached to these virtual characters, to this person called Solanum that I've never met before, that I finally meet in the end when I got to the Quantum Moon, and like it's so personal. This face sounds like she can drive a spacecraft. Listen, I have two modes, okay? The mode where I'm smart and the mode where I'm not. And driving a spacecraft includes that I'm not smart. Solanum and Gabbro makes the ending hurt so much. It is really, really cool. And like, you know, like, oh gosh, at the ending in the Eye of the Universe, literally you don't get explained anything at all, which I'm still confused whatever the fuck happens there. I'm gonna sit on it, even like just gonna like think about it. It's gonna be so long until I probably get it, because I missed a lot of like information, like not missed, a lot of information just went over my head. But like it's such an amazing use of like visual language. Basically everything you understand, everything you know just gets like cracked open, and like this is how it works now. Whatever works before, you think, no, it doesn't necessarily work. Things work similar but also different. So like it's so like, and like there is no dialogue. Well, there is dialogue if you talk to the people, but like there is no dialogue, no story, no text, nothing. Everything is just visual, and it's so good. Or is it better for you to simmer? Give it a few more days. Yeah, give it a few more days. Give it a few more days until like I can like rewatch the VODs and like I can think about it and everything. It's completely fine. I'm making a video about it, so like I'm gonna rewatch everything anyway, and like maybe I'll finally get to like the understanding of it. Maybe I'll find the answer, and once I find the answer, you'll know, because I'll be like screaming on it in like the Discord or something. Or like on stream. But like yeah, basically when I'm playing, like again, when I'm playing it, I'm like focused on the gameplay, but like after playing it, I'm like, that is like an awesome piece of text that is like really, really effective, but also at the same time not, it's like giving the right clues, but it's like giving information, but not enough information that you know everything. It's so good. It is so good. It is everything I want a lore exploration game to be. It is so very good puzzle exploration game, because every single piece of text is just clues to what's going on, and it's like it's exactly at the right time, at the right place, and like it just gives enough to give you information, but not enough to give all of the information. Very, very amazing.
How do we communicate
I
this
love
idea
the
to
game
players in a way that is like interesting narratively? Makes sense why the Nomai would even be talking about this. It is also like, you know, telling you, you read it and you're like, okay, I get what this text is actually communicating. And we just did just so many revisions of all of this and so many play tests.
So many revisions, exactly. Perfect. So many revisions. You need that.
Oh wow. Except it's not
Is
like
it busted?
Oh,
Probably. They were busted at one point, yeah.
Or you have to pull out your, no, you have to pull out your translator.
Oh my gosh, I coded this.
Oh wow.
It does that faster now.
That's, yeah.
From a design perspective, a certain amount of minimalism was actually advantageous. Like, knowledge is the only reward. So you learning, you know, things is the only thing you get. You know, it's really hard to do because players see text as lore, that is not necessarily actionable. We really had to set the example of never having lore-only text, which also applies to other things, to have lore-only pieces of level design or part of the environment.
Yeah.
So through design, we actually had to be pretty minimalist because we had to make sure everything was actionable and everything was pointing to the thing it helped you to do.
Yes. The text isn't pointing in the right direction. Text is giving you
So
clues.
originally, the ship log we knew we were going to need because we didn't want people to have to take paper notes. We originally only had the solar system view, where it's sort of the planets in a row. We added the rumor mode with the lines, the detective board, like a year before launch, because we just had some playtests. People just weren't understanding the structure of the game, like how to go about investigating. Let's just show them how we think about it, and like let's just put our design docs into the game. Pretty much is what we did. We needed
That's
ways
so
to
good.
get people curious about things, and pointing your telescope at a distant planet and hearing a sound just seemed like a no. It's like, well, yeah, of course people are going to want to go check that out. You can go to like NASA's website, and there are these recordings of like sounds from Saturn where they sort of interpret data they've recorded. And there's just we knew we wanted to have these travelers around the solar system.
Oh my
on
God, look at that.
planet,
There's
sort of as
Gavro.
the trail guy or the travel guide.
Just
for each planet.
calmly
It's like, okay, they each play an instrument, and
in
wouldn't it
his
be cool if
hammock.
you could just pick up the music in sort of a whimsical fashion.
Back in the very beginning stages, we were talking about having the different travelers on different
Oh my
planets.
gosh, sure. You're making
and
awesome
Then I
music.
kind of crafted the concept with Alex of having them like actually all playing the same tune, not having them play different songs. Like I was like, we should have them play together, so it's kind of grasp.
I hope you don't think I'm psycho, but I never use the ship logs. I just use the notebook. I mean, fair. What? I mean, fair. As someone who also recently got into D&D, I also used a notebook for a lot of things. So, like, fair enough, you know? I think if I wasn't streaming, I would also be using a notebook. What? What do you mean, what? Listen, it's surprising how writing things down can actually help you remember stuff. Like I said again, maybe if I wasn't streaming, I would probably also use a notebook because it helps me remember what's important and what's like not important. I could also just go Ash Twin Project, and be like, probably in the middle of Ash Twin ? Look here afterwards. Like I could also do that. Look into this immediately. Quantum Moon. I DK how to get here, but I want to. Look into this. Like stay away from me. Dude, it's not that weird. Using I don't know. Maybe I'm old, who cares? But using a notebook helps me. Because it low-key spoils shit for me. Okay, that makes sense. But I get it though. I get it. Maybe I wouldn't even use a notebook. Maybe I'd use sticky notes, which is even crazier. But like there's more to this area to explore. It annoyed me. Fair enough. Like yeah, it's like again, maybe I would use. Maybe I wouldn't even use a notebook. Maybe I just straight up use sticky notes. And just be like, explore this area afterwards. Explore this. Explore that. Because, like, it makes me feel like I'm an actual astronaut, you know? Oh, this man just plays authentic difficult on all games. I mean, I'm not surprised if Shan does, though. Sounds like something that he would do.
This approach where like no matter where you're at, like the world can be like a smaller place through music, and like you can be connected that way.
Oh, that's so cute.
Hopefully, captivate
It's a cute idea.
that
I
message by
didn't
having
notice
them
that
all apart, but
they're all
really
playing
all
the
in
same
sync,
tune until
in a
like
certain way,
almost
through
the
this,
last
like,
part.
tune that's really like
Until like almost the ending, and like it hit me
premonition
like,
to
oh wait, they're
the
playing the
end of the
same
game.
sound.
Really, it was
They're playing the
based
same
on,
music.
Like thinking about
That is
sitting
so
around a
smart though.
campfire.
That's so smart. Oh my gosh, wait. As someone who, you guys know, I'm a producer, music producer, composer too, and sidelines too. So, as someone who also does music production, That is so smart. That one blew my mind the most, probably. It's like when I found out about it, like when I found out, like when I thought, not what I thought, when I watched back the right VODs and I heard the same tune on Rebek and also, who's the guy on the moon? Esker? Is like, you're playing the same tune. Wait, does everyone play the same tune? Is that why Gabros has like really low and like we got like Feldspar with his harmonica and then Shirt on his like whatever percussion stuff it is, and it's like, oh my god, that's so smart. That's so cool because like that makes sense now that Esker said that he wants to play together with everyone because they're literally playing the same music. It blew my mind basically. And everyone is just like, you know, when you have music, it's like a separate track. Every single instrument is like one single track, and it's like there's 6 or 7 different tracks, and it's like everyone's playing different tracks, and it's like, oh, that's so cool. It's just a small
Something
detail I
that's
love.
simple and
If you take your ship and go far away from the side solar system and use your signal scope, then you would hear the main theme. Maybe I'll do that later.
easy to play but memorable.
Maybe I'll
so,
do
like,
that.
It kind of gets caught in your
I should
head,
probably
so,
do
I
that.
mean, really, the main theme is only like a couple bars long. It's about the joy of life and like the journey and like all the existential stuff that gets involved towards the end of the game. Like, and it's sort of the theme
It's
that
also like
starts
really
off,
catchy.
When you hear it first, like it sounds kind of happy, but over time, like it becomes this melancholy and like reflective piece.
It is.
So that's kind of what I was aiming for, like this bittersweet, like nostalgic.
It is really
campfire tune.
It is really happy,
like,
but
I
also at the
want it
same
to be,
time it's like,
when music is playing something
aw,
important is happening, it's
nostalgia.
not just kind of like it's important for it to stand out when it needs to, and when there doesn't need to be music, there shouldn't be, and especially like when you get into the desolation of space. I
Yes,
think it helps.
I noticed this too. Like, I didn't mention it when I was playing, but I noticed that when I went to the interloper, there was no music, but then when I saw the Know My Grave, there is music, and like music starts playing, and it's like, holy shit, this is the moment. This is the moment. Like, the music adds so much because there was no music before. Also, you are at the end of the cycle. You can hear the instruments one by one go silent. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Make it a little bit more
Interesting.
fearful in areas where there's no music, because you really do feel like
It's literally
you're
just
a little
like
bit more
you
alone, so you're
breathing.
hearing,
I
like, the
noticed
breathing and
this
stuff.
so hard, and it's
That
like,
way people
I
notice
didn't
the
mention it
music,
because
and
I
like
was
it
like so
actually
focused on
is
the game. But I
meaningful
noticed it and it was like,
rather than always just
so
being
wait, this is
around.
so cool. This is such an effective use of music because when I was in film school, I learned that sometimes the best music scoring is to have no music at all. It's a lot sadder that way, or a lot more emotional. It's a lot more, it's like, it's a contrast, you know, when you have music and then suddenly there's silence and then you have music. That silence part or that music part becomes a lot more powerful because of the contrast. And like, it is that part, like when you enter the interloper and then suddenly when you go to the Nomai grave, you find the Nomais all dead, like Pi and Poke and everyone like dead. It's like music starts, and that becomes so much more powerful than if there were music before.
The second thing I ever wrote was the main title. So what I did was I went back and I recorded myself playing banjo with my 7 years ago self at the very end, just because I thought it would be cool to like literally wrap the game up like when you first play it. Like it's like me playing at the beginning when we started and then at the very end. It's like
Oh,
multi-trick
okay.
banjo, and one of them is me from 7 years ago, and one of them is me from right before the game came out. It's like May.
Oh my gosh, it's like an
that's what I was
actual
like, I have
past
to
and
do it, I have
present.
to do it.
We talked to the team at Mobius about design for over 2 days, but as you know, time is precious, so we can't fit it all in the doc. So if you're interested in watching some bonus scenes, you can do so on our Patreon for the price of a few bags of marshmallows. Speaking of paywalls, Outer Wilds had what you might consider to be an untraditional launch. For PC, it would be an Epic Game Store exclusive, while on consoles, it would launch as part of Xbox Game Pass. We asked the development team about the reasons for both of these partnerships, and they said those decisions were made by Massey and their publisher, Annapurna.
The game launched in May of 2019 and has been slowly building positive word of mouth as the studio continues to tinker on it.
The Ash Twin project has gone through several redesigns as the final puzzle has stumped a number of players, while the game was brought to PlayStation
Math
4
is not mathing.
in October of 2019.
It's like 6 years ago.
Yes, I would like to publicly apologize for the Ash Twin project puzzle. We are still working on that, actually. Yeah, we keep that was one where you just didn't have enough long form playtests. We did do long form playtests, and we knew that was an issue. It's not as easy as just going in and like just telling people the answer, because we don't want to invalidate all of the other clues. So we're trying some new stuff with our new patch, actually. That's coming out pretty soon. We'll see. We're watching people play, streamers online, still taking playtest notes.
We've been really happy, with Game Pass. It has really brought so many people that may not
Gone
have
to this
played
game
the
by
game,
Soviet
now that they
Womble
have.
in July 2025.
Fantastic.
It is so long ago. Like, I can't believe that it's like
because it's a game that's so easy
6
to
years
spoil,
ago.
we
It
try to
feels like
stay
it's
as
a new
low as
game
possible,
still.
which makes it hard to sell. So
Just because, like, it's so
a
different.
A game that is in itself a mystery will definitely benefit from a subscription service like that, because it's like people are like, they won't buy a mystery, but they may try out a mystery and then be like, oh my god, you have to try this.
I remember one of my favorite moments
Right,
when we
that's
first showed
smart.
the game off at PAX East. Someone was playing on Brittle Hollow, and they like parked their ship, and they went down and explored for a while, and then they were looking over and they saw a piece falling, and then their ship just sort of like tumbled off the top of the fragment and like bounced off as it was falling into the black hole. And they're like, my ship!
That happened to me.
Like chasing after it as it's like falling
That
into this
happened
black
to
hole,
me.
and I was like,
And
"Alright,
that
very
literally
cool."
happened to me down Y'all in USL. I played this like 3 years ago. Yeah, I'm very late. That happened to me. I remember that specific clip. It was really funny because I was walking towards my ship. I was going to my ship. My ship fucking fell into the black hole. And I was like, my ship. It was really funny.
I spent
It
a
was
lot
an
of time on it. Like
experience.
several people on the team spent like basically a year of our lives working on that ship. And we had all these like grand ideas of like, oh, we want
Right,
to
I
break
also
apart
did
and we want
that.
all the, like,
Went
little
straight
gadgets to
into
be
a
actually
planet, and then the
useful.
hull broke.
And, like in the middle of development, when you're just like trying to ship the game, it's like, oh,
It's
there's
really
no way.
funny.
Like,
I
it's just
didn't
gonna be
realize that your ship can like actually break because physics, right? Because I was like new to the game, and I just like really literally like rammed my ship into a planet at like breakneck speed, and the hull and the body of the ship broke apart, and then I was like spinning in space, and I didn't realize that it was breaking. So I thought it was like, okay, and like I was still really bad at like flying and everything. I didn't know that we can like match velocity and stuff, but like I was like spinning in space, being like, oh my god, hull break and everything, and like the screen was like offline and nothing is showing, and like I was like, what is going on? What the fuck is going on? I left, and then I floated in space, and then all I saw was my hull, and it was like, huh. So that can happen. I tried to find the rest of my ship. I tried to fix it, but like, you know what? Thinking about it again, I couldn't fix it anyway. It was hilarious.
box that moves around, like, I guess we'll make it work. And then when we actually like managed to get like the damage in there, we managed to get the destructibility in there, and just the more little details we could add, it just really feels right. And seeing people fall in love with the ship and like have adventures where the gravity crystal breaks and they're floating around hurtling towards the sun and they're trying to repair things, and it's just so exciting for me every time I see something
Right,
like that.
I never fixed my ship.
I mean, when you're a musician and a composer, you want to be listened to and you want to be heard and like have your voice like speak a story.
Have you heard of Blueprints? I have not. I played the game in December 2022 and have been obsessively watching people experience it ever since. It is so good. Also, hello again. Congrats on completing it. Thank you so much. This game was a hell of an experience, though. It was, but I can quit anytime I want. Exactly. It was definitely an experience, though. The game was a huge experience. Definitely, arguably the best game that I have ever played in my whole entire life, and probably will for the rest of my life. Who knows? Who knows?
Through your musical voice.
Such a good game.
And finally, that has happened on a large scale where people are noticing my work. So it's like
the music is
paying
awesome.
off after all this time.
I feel like
The
I didn't
community
give
behind
enough
Outer Wilds is, like, really
credit to the
passionate
music
about
as
the
I'm playing the
music,
game,
too,
but like the
as well as
music
the
is
game, so
absolutely
that's been, like,
awesome.
incredible to have people reach out and like.
It's like, I think I mentioned it so much on like Dark Bramble because it's so scary. But like, oh my gosh, the music is making me feel scared, and like it's so good. Another person's one right now that I have gained goodwill on recommending this game. I recommend Blueprint 2. Okay, is it like I don't have to I don't look it up what it's about and like just play the game? That
Tell me how much the music means to them, or that they.
I too can quit, but of course
it's
you
really,
did
like,
not.
It feels really good.
Blueprint game. It's available on. Okay, cool.
All right, it's time we address the elephant in the room. There's probably a bunch of you who clicked on this video expecting us to be talking about something else, a different game.
When you're done with this
set
doc,
in
there is a
space
presentation.
that came out in 2019.
When you're done with this doc, there's a presentation from Alex person on, I don't know how to pronounce his name, on designing for Curiosity, also on YouTube. Okay, you can look at the store page, nothing more though. Okay. Okay.
And was developed by a
Alex
studio
Listen,
based in Los
it's
Angeles.
hard. Sometimes I can't pronounce the name, and I'm like, you person, human. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry, but you.
I think we were just in a class and a few of us were brainstorming. We were just tossing around ideas, words that felt good. I think I remember at one point we were like, cosmic wilderness. And then we're like, all right, well, wilds is shorter, that, and then outer wilds somehow, like, just, you kind of slot the words together eventually.
That's so
like,
cool.
Outer wilds, yeah, all right. And it stuck.
Do you remember when you first saw that there was another
Beecham.
game coming out that had a somewhat similar name?
Beecham. Okay,
It was
Alex
almost
Beecham.
exactly a year ago at the Game Awards.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, no, we had seen it, they'd filed a patent or like a copyright. We had seen The Outer Worlds. I remember looking at that being like, wow, I really hope they like hear about our game and don't do that. But the Game Awards, we saw that trailer and it's just like, all right.
It is not
all right, cool.
Beecham.
The Outer Worlds and Outer Wilds together
Okay.
In 2019. They
Well,
obviously are a bigger
person.
studio than we are and have a bigger kind of reach. And I think ultimately it's probably good for us because just people talk about it. They're like, wait, these aren't the same game? What is happening? Like,
have you ever met any of the folks from Obsidian? They're pretty close. They're in Irvine.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh man. You know, we've talked about that we should like do some sort of cross-promotional thing with them.
Right.
Just like, just anything. Or like April Fools, we just actually switch our names. I think Logan mentioned that the other day. I was just like, oh, it'd be so good though.
Do you like the Outer Bundle?
Yeah,
The Outer
it's been
Bundle.
a strong year for Outer games.
Outer Worlds and Outer Wilds. Switch names for one
We've
day.
explored
That's
the
really
origin
cool.
of this game, the design of its planets, how the team guided players, the technical challenges, and the emotional core of the game.
The
But
game
Outer
is
Wilds
very
is more than
emotional,
the sum
yes.
of its parts.
I
It's the
can't
type
believe
of
that a
game
game with
leaves you
like
with a
a
feeling that
single
can't be
character
explained.
and no
It has to be
dialogue is like so
experienced.
emotional.
And for the team at Mobius Digital, the years-long cycle from award-winning thesis project to full retail
I am
release
pretty sure more people bought Outer Worlds by accident than the other way around. I can't believe it.
has been an experience all on its own.
I think the nicest thing is even though working on the project has been like super crazy, we haven't really had to like crunch and we all work like reasonable hours.
That is great.
I think it's the fact that it's just like a nice chill atmosphere.
We try to keep the work environment good and safe and make sure people don't overwork, but to some extent we did not as good of a work on that side for the leads. For me, Alex and Wesley, we both had to deal with a lot of stress, and so it was difficult, but to finally see the results.
Yeah,
and
I
to hear
can
from
I can
people,
really tell it's a difficult
this dad
project.
who played
It's
the
such a
game
good
with
project.
their,
Like it's so
I think,
good.
9 or 10-year-old kid, and who told us that at the end the kid wanted to become an astronaut.
That's so
I was just
cool.
melting in my chair reading this, you know, it's that sort of
That's
stuff.
so
It's like, oh
wholesome.
my God, okay, this was all worth it in the end, yeah.
Unfortunately, I was 2 clicks away from that tragedy. Yeah.
When we released it and we started to get feedback back in, just seeing the people who understood what we were trying to do. It's like people like the game for the reasons why we made it, and like they got the story we were trying to tell. And I'm really proud that we told a story that could only, in a way that could only be told through video games.
Yeah.
Because we tried really hard. We wanted to make something that couldn't have been made any other way.
Yes,
yeah, that there's
very
sort of
true.
This just connection with everyone who
Very
plays the game
true.
and,
You
like,
can't
we
you
added
can't do
something
it any other
meaningful
way. You
to
can't make a movie out of
the
this.
lives
You
of the
can't
people
make a
who played
book
it.
out of
It's
this.
just, like,
You
really humbling,
have to play a
but,
game.
like an incredible feeling.
You have to make a video game. Is this done? The amount of people who recommended Wilds and Broad Worlds
Thanks for
must
watching our
be
video.
high. Okay. What is that? When you're done. Designing for. That's literally the first one. Oh, 20. Is it designing for curiosity? No, it was. Yeah, I agree that it's literally just like you cannot use any other medium to tell this kind of story. It has to be a video game. Because of the interactiveness and everything. You're done. Notice the presentation is 22 minutes long. I noticed. Wait, it is 22 minutes long. That is so smart. That is 22 minutes long. That's so funny. Like, the moment, like, you know all these things that you finished, and it's like, references here and there is so cool. Oh, gosh. Yeah. That is, like, a wonderful thing, though. Like, you can only make this kind of story in a video game. You can only, like, make this kind of story in, like, other medias. Because, like, every single piece of media has like something that makes them unique, and with video games it's like the interactiveness, and it makes it very personal in a way as you're like experiencing the game. You're like, again, you and someone else will experience the game differently. Not everyone will go to Dark Giants Deep immediately and skip all the tutorial phase. Right? Like me. So yeah. Yeah. It is incredibly great. Let's watch this. I got time. I got like until another hour to like just nerd about Outer
Hello,
Wilds.
everybody.
We don't have to play
and
Genshin.
Let's talk about Outer Wilds and how we designed for curiosity. A word that I've said so many times this week, it has lost all meaning. So, I'm the director of Outer Wilds. I'm part of the team at Mobius. And I'm also one half of the design team. I'm 1/3 of the story team. And I'm going to apologize right now for how many times I'm going to reference Zelda in this presentation. So, for those who are unfamiliar,
Zelda, okay.
Outer Wilds is an open world mystery where you explore a solar system that's trapped in a 22-minute time loop. You do this by investigating the ruins and writings of an alien civilization. You're trying to figure out what the hell is going on.
I love how they
People describe
said
this as
alien civilization, because you yourself is also a quote-unquote alien.
as
Right.
mist in space, and they're not wrong. I'm gonna keep spoilers light, but I'm gonna spoil a couple puzzle solutions. And honestly, like everything in this game is technically a spoiler, so this is just fair warning. Outer
Fair
Wilds
warning.
exists for a couple of reasons.
That's
One
perspective
is
note.
that we
Yeah,
wanted to
like
make a space
according to us,
exploration
the
game that-
player, the characters in that we're playing, is aliens, but to them, only the Nomai is an alien, right? And they are the normal ones, which is like, again, like it's really interesting.
really captures the feeling of venturing into the unknown out of sheer curiosity. Sort of that idea that humans have no business being in space at all, but we do it because we want to know what's out there. And the other reason is that Skyward Sword broke me as a person. This game, I really love how the Zelda series as a whole handles exploration. It's one of the reasons why I love those games so much. But this game, and I'm sure all of you have played it, it just sort of goes out of its way to just over-explain everything. And it's a good example of how doing that can really drain the sense of player discovery. This game just had no faith in its players' own curiosity.
Yeah. Oh my god, I just put down my that was my bottle, don't worry about it. Yes. The thing that he said about over explaining things to their players, I felt that so much with the Hoyo games. Because again, the Hoyo games are the very first actual quote-unquote games that I played after I played only mobile games, and then it's like Hoyoverse games and everything, right? I loved the initial parts of I liked the initial parts of like some of the Hoyo games where they don't over-explain every single thing, but the latter parts where they don't have faith in their players, they don't have the faith in their players being smart, or like the players can understand whatever subtext and like remember whatever things that like happened in the previous conversation. I just like that part so much because it makes everything so draggy. You over explain everything, and like I feel like annoyed because you treat me as someone stupid. After that vessel debacle, I understand the faithlessness. But listen, look, when I finally get into the vessel, it makes for some really funny content. Right? Like, guys, come on. Like, the least you can, like, it's fine. Like, if I say, am I dumb in a really smart video game? That's, like, better than being told you are dumb by a video game that is also dumb. Like, it's not Copium on Max right now. Listen, the reason why this game is really good is because it thinks its players are smart. Even though most likely they are not. But it's better like when you play a smart game and it's like you have a hard time doing it. For me, at least personally. It's better when you like play or like consume or release smart media. It is not copium, it is true. Exactly. It is it's better when you play a really smart media and you struggle in it, and like once you've achieved it, it feels really good, rather than having a really dumb media and then you achieve something and it's like, well, you know what, you get told what to do anyway, so like meh, you know. Hi Reaper, sorry, hello, I shall yeed. So it's not the fact that like I'm not dumb. I mean, like, yes, I admit that in some points of the game I don't observe things very well, and I think like out of my way to like do something really stupid. But in a way, once I finally got to that like right. This is why Faye loves Elden Ring. Yeah, when I got to that point, basically, it feels rewarding. And then I play, the only other example I can give is like, what is it called? What is the example that I can give? Honkai Star Rail. Or like any other Gohyo games. It's like being told what to do next. And then when I do it, when I defeat it, it's like, well, I mean, I defeated anyway. It doesn't matter. I'm like, okay, so why I'm able to say this is because I am literally making a whole video of like rewriting the whole Amphorius quest, and I'm like highlighting every single dialogue that is, 1, either over explaining, 2, repeating what they just said, 3, useless. And there is so many of them, and like, yeah, well, this is like the first 1 hour of the game. Like, no wonder everyone hated this quest. No wonder everyone said this quest is too long. You're repeating everything you said 3 times in like a single scene. It's so bad. Budak Hoyo moment. You're literally taking notes. No, I don't take notes. Yes, I do take notes when I'm. It's because I'm so annoyed at the quest. It's so draggy. It's so long. It's bad. I don't like it because you're repeating everything and like you're putting things that don't need to be put there. And so like, yes, I'm highlighting every single part of the quest. That is useless. I just put up transcripts. I just like copied the transcripts and like put it into a PDF file and like highlighting there. But yes, this is like, it's better me playing in Outer Wilds, forgetting details and then going back and like trying to figure things out than being told what to do. Because in the first one, in Outer Wilds, I feel rewarded when I finally like managed to solve a puzzle. It feels good. Hoyo needs some editors. Hoyo needs a lot of editors. And they need to like, I don't know, like this is the problem of life and service games. I start understanding because like they have a time crunch to complete something and I'm guessing that they're just trying to complete it. They have a limited amount of time to do things. And like the difference with like games like Outer Wilds, for example, is that yes, they have a limited amount of time to do things, but they are doing everything. They're doing everything in one go, completing it, and like basically they have goals, not a limited amount of time to do an update. They have goals. That's it. And if they can't meet the goals, they're like, okay, let's review. Why can't we meet the goals? The problem with like a live service game is that people already expect you to do a 40-day update. And like, if you can't meet that, players are like, meh, you know. And like, if it's a filler updates, players are also like, meh, no content. That's hard. They're also $1 billion company, so IDK, yeah, smaller $1 billion indie company. Honestly, I don't know where the money goes to. Like, oh no, like I don't understand business as well as they do. But if you keep on making new games when your old games are bad, what are you doing? I don't know. Like, just get some editors, bro. It's like not hard. Get some editors and like do better visual cues. I don't know. Use the visual language. Like, have you felt that before? Like, if you watch someone play a Hoyo game and you're like, I'm just watching a visual novel. I'm not playing a game. I'm playing a visual novel. That is like stockholders. That's where the money goes. Fair enough, yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Like, it's just like watching a visual novel. It's like the thing that I'm like, I can like pass with like really bad animations and visuals in like the first 2-3 patches, but then like it's like this is getting boring, and the only reason why I'm playing is because the story in its core is interesting and gotcha. And gotcha. Yeah, that's it. That it goes to various islands. Yeah. Well, anyways, let's stop talking about a normal game. Let's talk about an actual good game.
Absolutely no explicit objectives, but still encourages and rewards player curiosity.
This is awesome. I love that.
And so first, I'm just going to like define what I mean by curiosity. It's a need, a thirst, or a desire for knowledge. And then while we're here, exploration is all activities concerned with gathering.
Do not call Hoyoverse a visual novel. It's an insult to the medium. Oh my god. It's not a, it's what is it then? A disaster? It's just, it's so sad because the concept is really good. What's wrong with your execution? What went wrong? What went wrong, Hoyo? Chapter 9, Himiko made me really sad. Why? Where did it all go wrong? Belobog wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. It was good. It was probably arguably the best quest. Like, what went wrong? Why did Amphorius turn that way? Anyway, let's move on. I'm tired.
About the environment, And if we slam them together, we get curiosity-driven exploration, which is gathering information about the environment, exploration, out of a desire for knowledge. And that is the specific type of exploration that we really wanted to kind of instill
awesome.
and reward with Outer Wilds.
Yes.
So some examples of curiosity-driven exploration would be exploring the remains of an ancient culture, exploring the rules of nature at a high-energy particle collider, or even something as simple as climbing a mountain because
You
we're
can
curious to
climb.
see.
This is me with that one gigantic tornado in Giant's Deep. I was like, large tornado. Let's see what's going on here. Finds the random quantum tower thing.
The view from the top. And so all of these can be framed as a question where the goal of exploration is to find an answer to that question. So how did this ancient culture live? How does the
So
universe
mad for
work at the
that.
smallest scales? Why is Todd Howard so
Todd
obsessed
Howard.
with mountains? And if you're designing for curiosity,
Listen, this game rewards you for being curious, okay? And I love that.
To ask a question in the first place. And then the second part of that is you have to let them know sort of how can they go investigate further? Where should they explore to find the answer?
See, I love
you
that.
Can't actually tell them.
Let them know where or how they can find the answer without actually telling them to do so. I love that. It's not like do this, do that. No. How can we find the answer? Do you want to go there? I mean, you don't have to, but you can. The detail.
To do this, or you're breaking the whole no explicit.
I love
rule.
that.
And this isn't like a brand new thing we invented. There are lots of games that do this. You usually have to look outside the critical path. There's a bunch of examples I could pull from. I'm going to use Zelda. So
I'm
this
gonna
is from
use
the Wind
Zelda
Waker.
again.
There is a gallery in the game of pictographs. That's what the game calls pictures. That are
You will
taken
love
sort of weird
blueprints, right?
oddities from
Okay.
across the Great Sea.
Next game
And you can ask
recommendation. Like
Lenzo, the
no.
character who took these
Next
pictures
game
about them, and
obsession.
they'll give you, like,
Blueprints.
just a little small descriptor to
I'll
kinda
also take your
make you
word for
interested,
it.
and then they'll tell you where you could go
Oh,
to see where the
gosh.
picture was taken. And they don't tell you to do this, but if you're curious, you can go investigate, and you'll actually find the thing in question.
That is
and
so
this isn't
cool.
like part of the main story. I don't even know if how much they intended for this to happen, but it's interesting, and it feels really cool. Like it's
What if this
rewarding
was the
you
entire
for being
game?
curious, and we wondered, what if this was just the entire game?
That is
And so,
such an
yes, but,
awesome way.
Outer Wilds is pretty much just Wind Waker's pictograph gallery taken to its logical extreme. So we built a world where everything that the player discovers is telling a story about something that physically exists elsewhere in the world. Oh my God, that's too far. All right. And so the way we went about structuring the game to do this is we came up with this idea of a curiosity. Yeah, we just like use this
Yeah,
word
why am
way
I
too
stuck
much
in time
development.
loop? How
A
do I get
curiosity
here?
For us is a
What
location
exactly
in
is
the world
that?
that answers a major question like, why am I stuck in this time loop? And each of them is hidden in a secret location, or often usually a dangerous location. And you can only reach it if you have specific
Is it horror? Nope, it's not horror first. 5,000 is so sus. Understood. Okay.
knowledge, like how do I reach the core of Giant's Deep? And then our original idea was
Does
that
it have
each one
horror
was gonna-
elements though?
the things
Is
you just
usually
find by
probably the
exploring
case.
around
It's
on a
not
surface
horror, but
level
like it
are
has
clues,
horror
and the
elements.
clues tell you a piece of information you need to reach the curiosity, and they also sort of let you know the curiosity exists, and they point to the other clues, so it doesn't matter where you enter this web.
There is one good horror game in my eyes, and the horror is the worst part of it. I think we established here that I probably cannot play horror games just because the anxiety is too hard, but you know, maybe if it's good, then horror elements. Maybe if it's good, I'll play it. Who knows?
And this actually eventually turned into the way the game represents the player's own knowledge of sort of like what they've found and discovered, which is the ship log. And you can see in the final version, it kind of ended up a bit messier than we originally planned. We have like clues leading to the curiosity, and certain clues don't point to other clues, but sort of the idea is still there. And the other idea was that each curiosity is on a different planet, and all the clues are scattered around.
Right,
because we
yes.
didn't want players to
This is the worst part.
explore planet by planet. We wanted to encourage
Because
them
I am a
to explore
completionist
by
and like
curiosity,
to
'cause each
finish a
curiosity
single
is
planet
question,
before
so the
moving
player
on to the next
picks
one.
the one that they are most interested in finding the answer to, and then the clues give them the tools to go do so.
But that doesn't happen here.
So all of that was sort of the setup
Soma.
why we tried to do any of this
Oh.
in the first place.
Okay, I'll look it up.
The really hard part was kind of figuring out how to actually get players to ask these questions and how to make them curious without us just like beating them on the head and telling them what to do. And so in part 2, I want to do sort of a deep dive into, we spent the last 4 years sort of working on these problems and sort of the things we found, the playtest.
Resident Evil is not horror, come on. Yeah, I don't consider Resident Evil horror. I think it has horror elements, but not horror in itself. It is a pretty grotesque looking game, but no, it's different. Horror games are a different breed. But tag-wise, they still call it horror, I think. Yeah, I think because people find it scary. I think it's more, I never played it, but I've heard about it. And I think it's more of like, yeah, again, the horror elements rather than the horror itself. Because horror is literally, it's a different breed of game that I probably will never be able to get into completely because I just get scared too much. I mean, you've seen me in Giant's Deep, right? But it ain't traditional horror. Yeah. When you guys see me in Giant's Deep, you guys have seen me face the quantum mechanics of Outer Wilds. I'm jittery. You guys have seen me going into Dark Bramble and then you guys playing fart sounds and I get surprised every single time. That one Indonesian phone horror game. Wait, I actually don't know that, and I am Indonesian. But to be fair, I stay away from horror though. And I do admit that Indonesian horror stuff, when done right, is incredibly scary. When you establish a fail state in a horror game, the tension is just gone. Fair. Speaking of horror, when are you starting the Outer Wilds DLC? I'm thinking about it. Maybe September. Is this gonna kill my stream? No. Okay, I just turned on the power for my laptop, by the way, if you guys are wondering. Maybe September. Not, which is like next week. Not next week. What do I want to play next week anyway? I don't think I have anything to play next week. Yeah, maybe somewhere in September.
Yes, we did. It's going to take about 2 hours. And let's see, we have 14 minutes. So instead, here are 10 weird tricks to make players curious. You won't believe number 6.
You won't believe number 6.
Number 1.
That is one way to make your players curious. You won't believe number 6. That's one way.
To make players curious, you won't believe number 6. So, number 1, remove unwanted player motivations. How do we know if players are exploring because they're curious or if they're exploring for some other reason? You get rid of the other reasons. They can't be exploring because they want to find all the collectibles if there are no collectibles. And our idea was if the only reward for exploring is knowledge and they're still playing the game, they must be curious. And the keywords there are if they're still playing the game.
Okay. Yeah.
2,
fair
players
enough.
Can't be curious about something specific if they're curious about literally everything. So this is way back. Our first approach at the intro to this game started with players using their telescope, and they saw this meteor crash out of the sky. And it falls on the far side of the village. Yeah, this is like 7 years ago. We were like, great, we'll start a game about curiosity with players asking this question of, I wonder what crashed over beyond the horizon, and they'll have to go
I know you
investigate
haven't played
before they
Hollow
can lift
Knight.
off
I was
into space.
joking.
But what we failed to realize is that
I wanted to play
naturality,
Hollow Knight,
what's
though.
going through
That's,
players'
like,
heads
on the
at this
list.
moment is something a little more like this. Because all of this is new to them. You can't just throw people into a brand new environment and then be like, no, be curious about this in particular.
No, yeah.
And so we changed our goal from trying to make people curious about this crashed alien artifact to just making people curious about space, like, in general. And this is where we shifted everything to, hey, you're the newest astronaut in the space
This is
program.
called a
It's launch
hook,
day. All
by
you have
the
to do is
way.
go get the launch codes from the observatory. But
In a story, this kind of like technique in a way, when you start writing a story, this is called a hook. Make people curious about one single thing. That is like what we call either the inciting incident or just the hook in general. Make people curious something happens, make people curious about that, and then they will stay for the rest of the thing, basically. Well, not the rest of it, but like, you know, they will stay to know what happened then. And he's a really good hooker. Automod hates my chat. Right. Yeah, it's a hook. And like in a story, it's like you need that thing, the hook. So make people curious about one single thing. If you if you have a story about like a lot of things, then just tell the first thing and then branch off from there. Let the characters, like, basically if we're talking about a story, right, let the characters decide. Well, I mean, let you as an author be the character and pretend to decide what goes on next, basically. That is also how I, like, recently I learned how to approach being a DM in D&D, especially if I want to play a sandbox game. Like more of a sandbox kind of thing rather than like a storyline, linear path kind of D&D play game, where just hook your players with one thing, make them curious about that, and then open options after that, so that suspension of disbelief or like their curiosity will already be there, and then the next things are like easier. Literature class 101, exactly. Yes, literature class 101. Coming from someone who has been nerding about stories and literature since, I don't know, since I was like elementary school probably.
The way
Who knows? It's been a long time.
You curious and excited to actually go into space. And one of the ways we did that is we added this museum in the observatory,
which I did not look up. I did not look up anything in here. It's hilarious.
And this is sort of us trying to let
I did
people know,
not
hey,
look up
this is a game where
anything in
questions
this
have answers.
museum.
We're also trying to get you curious about something, but not sort of like anything in particular. just
Their
like in
hook,
general.
like, no wonder I was struggling in the first like 1 hour of the game. I did not look up their hook at all.
But that doesn't stop not having an objective from freaking a lot of people
This is
out.
me.
And it's understandable because you've just completed the first and only explicit objective in the game, which is getting the launch codes. And also, players just expect games on some level to tell them what they should be doing.
Yes.
And so we have this character who gives you the launch codes named Hornfels. And the idea was sort of they would set up the tone of exploration in the game. And so originally they had this sort of vague text about things are changing in space, nature's happening, but more than usual. And because we didn't want to tell you too much, but we wanted to make it sound interesting, so you'd want to go explore. It didn't work.
It is definitely scarier than the more
So
recent.
our next
What?
try is we added these two options where players could ask, where do I
Oh
go
my
once I
god,
launch,
these
or
in
what's my
progress.
mission? And if you ask them what's my mission, they would say there are no
Horrors.
missions. And honestly, that might
This
have
is
been
my
worse.
VTuber model if I ever go in.
Some people are just like, all right, I'm out.
Do it.
And then some of the people who like really needed to hear that
Do
also
it.
just like picked
The
one of
weird
first
models
two
are
options
always
anyway,
funner,
and just
way
missed
more
all that
fun.
text. So
What is
the final
English?
version that ended
Why
up
did I
in the
say
game is we had
funner?
Hornfels ask you, what are you gonna do once you're in space? And then
That
we let
thing
you-
stands in the corner
we
at
give
2
you a
a.m.
variety of answers. We pulled a lot of these from watching people play and how they chose to explore the game. And I think just from watching people do this, like having to make the choice on their own, it actually forces them to think through, what am I going to do once I'm in space? And makes it clear that that is on them. And then we actually would see in playtests, a lot of people would follow through on what they chose in this conversation. Like if they said, I'm going to go meet the Traveler.
I don't. I said, I don't know. And then this Hornfels was like, well, I mean, you can explore the moon on Adel Rock and find someone. Find Esker. And I went to Giant's Deep.
Later
So
they
cute.
would actually
I'd
go
really
and
like
meet
to
a
shed
Traveler.
you. You're so
For
full of
subtleties for
curiosities.
cowards. So yeah, I feel a little bad about talking about this because it seems so obvious. But if you make something weird enough, people are going to be curious about it. We have this thing called the quantum moon, and it disappears if you fly through it.
Exactly.
And
That's
just
so fun.
Once that happens, everyone wants to know what it is. Like, we've never had any trouble at all getting people curious about the quantum moon. The other is we have this probe cannon that always explodes in the sky whenever you
What
wake up
is
at the
that
start of a loop.
exactly?
And this is also just like has never been a problem. We kept making the explosion bigger and bigger so people would notice it sooner. But it's just like a surefire way. And these two things in particular are curiosities. So that was really great that we were able to just, that's why they're so obvious. A slightly less obvious thing is the way we design the art style and all of the level design to make it really obvious where sort of the interesting explorable content is.
Yeah, that's the hook. Exactly. If you can't make it weird, make it explode. A hook. This is also really interesting. It's an element of like that I learned in film and also in art in general. It is one thing that basically I kept throughout every time I want to like design something, but I never really applied it well, basically. But I understand the principle of like this, and like they talked about it, but in the previous documentary that we watched. But the rest of the planet is literally just grass, right? There is almost no trees, no nothing, and then you see something that's like filled with like perhaps even overly filled with like trees and lots of like design properties. And this reminds me of that one art technique called chiaroscuro. Is that how I pronounce it? Chiaroscuro. It is an old I forgot who made it, but basically this is like what 6-7 years ago. I completely forgot who made it, but I remember that my teacher was like telling us about this, and my lecturer was telling us about this, and we were literally kids back then, and she said that in this particular painting you immediately focus on the face. Why? Because the face is the only one that's the most detailed. 2, it is the only place that is like the lightest part. It's like the lightest part of the painting. The rest of the painting is darker. And that is why immediately your eyes go there. That is like contrast. And like in film, when you want to create a frame of something, it's so easy to put your eyes immediately there because one, you can blur the background, right? Focal point, blur the background. But what if like you don't blur the background? What if you want to have like a wide shot and you can't blur the background and you want someone to immediately notice this one thing? There's a lot of ways to do that. Make everything darker. That way this one part shines. Or the other way around, make everything light and this one part darker. Or you can also use colors, make this one color pop, or the other way around, colors everywhere, one black, right? One muted colors. Or you can also do this. Make everything simple, this one part complicated. Like the face is the only part that's like detailed. Your eyes will naturally go there. It's so good. It's so good. I'm literally nerding out about this game, and we're 11 minutes in.
Every nook and cranny, just in case we.
There's also a lot of framing techniques. Exactly. Honestly, yeah, exactly. Look at that. That like fire, like smoke coming up from below to up. That's one way to like. That's like visual cues. Also, it's like a lot of ways to like grab your eye. It's the visual language. And I love that they use visual language in a audio visual game. They don't just use the audio part, they also use the visual part, which is really nice. Really, really nice.
Because this is supposed to be a game where you have questions and you're exploring very intentionally. We don't want you to explore like you're mowing the lawn and like, oh, I missed a spot. And so, again, it's fairly obvious, but here's the content. And here's like some grass.
Exactly.
Guess,
content,
like,
not content.
Like,
that mountain is also content. Like you can tell it's visual language.
5. There's no such thing as just lore. So this was something where players coming from other games would have some trouble because, again, you find some text like an open journal conveniently lying around in the world, and a lot of times you assume that, oh, it's giving me interesting story information, or maybe I'll go on Wikipedia later and sort of try to piece together what it all means, but you don't expect it to be actionable information necessarily. And in Outer Wilds,
Yes.
there really isn't nothing's just lore. Everything sort of has, a writer Kelsey had sort of the
Oh
unenviable
wait, I didn't realize this, but I didn't realize this, but I actually applied this kind of like technique, this actionable lore, to my very first D&D games. It's just like a story time, kind of like a break and like all of this, just because I realized this just now immediately, that every single aspect of the thing you find in my D&D game that you can explore leads to clues to what you will fight later on. Like the combat, basically. And if you like, it leads you to like understand weakness and leads you to understand abilities so that you can plan ahead and basically like know what's going on here, two, how to fight what's next, basically. I'm trying so hard not to just talk about Blueprint. I have to remember y'all haven't played it. No. Well, maybe I'll play it soon. It's either the Outer Wilds DLC or Blueprints, or you know what? I still have Elden Ring. I still have Persona 5, Baldur's Gate 3. I haven't played. Like, there's so many games, but like, you know, it's okay. I stream games for a reason. But like, yeah, I remembered that, and I guess that's why it works so well. Because just play all of them. Yeah, I'm thinking of that. It works so well because like what I heard from my players is that this is really interesting because the exploration is fun. That's what they said. Because usually when you play D&D, at least in this community that I'm on, the exploration really isn't fun. And they were like, the exploration here is fun. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm glad that the exploration is fun. Because basically what I did was literally just place clues here, place clues here, place clues here. All of them leads to combat. Like that is like an experience. And I didn't realize that I was doing that. And maybe, I mean, when I was making the game, I've already played Outer Wilds, and maybe inherently I was like taking inspiration from there. I just didn't realize it. I just play all of them all the time. I mean, I'm not against it, but you know, I gotta find the time.
Having to convey story
Gotta find the
information,
time.
develop characters, and convey sort
If
of
you
like
guys
these really crucial
don't know,
clues.
by the way, which you probably don't, I don't actually play a lot of games outside of streaming. It's really funny because you would think as a streamer, gaming streamer, I would play games a lot, but surprisingly, when I'm out of streaming, I don't actually play games that often because most of the things that I'm doing is either editing or working. I don't have the time to play games, so I make time. So I stream so that I, at the very least, I don't feel bad when I play a game. Yeah, I know, Faye. Yeah, can't you tell? It's really simple.
All at the same time. But everything's important, and it took some doing and a lot of iterations to get the text to the point where players would just understand this. So an example is this cave on Embertwin, where Know My Children used to play a game that's pretty much of an alien version of Sharks and Minnows. And their text that they wrote is just them talking about the rules of the game, and it's supposed to teach you this clue that anglerfish are blind. That's like the big spoiler.
Yeah.
And so the original text, only 2 of the lines out of 9 were actually delivering the information that were sort of supposed to be the clue. And they're just sort of like woven into everything else. So you'd have to, if you were playing really close attention, you would realize, oh, this is important. But it's
Believe her, chat, she plays Lads by
It's
herself.
telling me the story of how the kids used to play a game. But it's not clear what
I
the
don't
game
actually
is.
play
And
Lads
so-
anymore. I don't actually play it. Like, if you guys see me log in, I haven't logged in like 2-3 months ago. It's like, again, it's another grindy gacha game. It's a live service grindy gacha game. I can't play more than 2. I'm sorry. I can't even play more than 1. Like, I don't... Like, currently right now I'm playing Star Rail and Genshin, and I'm not... I don't even play Genshin fully. I just play on stream. And for the story. And, like, the only live service gacha game that I'm playing is Honkai Star Rail. I don't even log in every day. Live service grindy Gooner gacha game. Exactly. It's actually kind of funny though, because Lads is surprisingly pretty good. But I do agree that it's still a Gooner game. Missed an objective there. Yeah, it is still definitely a Gooner game. Live, and I'm back. Hello back. Hello back.
We rewrote this to focus more directly on sort of the clue part of it. And so we changed it so that the rule in question that's important is actually like a new addition to the game. Levy says rule change, and then says the rule, and then we added
Wait,
the
what was the first one?
Levy
Let me read
changed it
that.
so that the rule in question that's clear what the takeaway is.
Whoever was it when we ended last time is the anglerfish. The anglerfish wears a blindfold. No peeking. The rest of us little fishes line up against one wall. When the anglerfish says go, the little fish sneaks across to the other side. And if the anglerfish catches you, you're eaten. Last little fish to be caught is the new anglerfish. But it's too hard. Anglerfish are blind, so you have to wear a blindfold. Maybe we can make more noise when it's Lammy's turn to be it. Yeah, this is very much not effective. Like, if we compare that to the next one, this is not... It's not bad. It's not great. It's not great. Because this one... This one is... one a lot more. There's reason for them to be talking about this because rule change, right? There's reason for them to be talking about this. One, it gives reason, it gives motivation, which is really, really important, and it gives reason to that motivation. Why are we changing? It's too hard if you can't see anything. On Pi says real anglerfish are blind, so you have to wear a blindfold. Is it not perfect? Oh, the first one is not. The first one is just this one. This one is really good. This is the one in the game. It's so good. It's perfect. I love this one.
Part of it. And so we changed it so that the rule in question that's important.
See, gives motivation to the writing.
Rule change.
Which I don't think. My bad. It's okay. Which, right, I just realized is that every single writing in this freaking game has motivation on why they write it. It makes the writing seems important, and it makes it real that they're like, you get what I mean, right? Like it makes it there's a reason for them to write it. It makes sense. Again, immersion, world building, absolutely gorgeous. Wait, have you not played the game? Not.
And then says the rule.
Not
and
arbitrary.
Then we added
Yes.
this
Yes.
conversation where the kids actually talk about why the rule was even added in the first place. And it's because real anglerfish are blind
Yes.
and they wanted
It
to
has
be
motivation and it has reason for that
we also
motivation.
reduced the total number of
Absolutely
lines
good.
from 9 to 8, but the number of relevant clue-related lines has gone up to 4. So now it's 4 out of 8 lines are actually
Very
like,
much more relevant.
and we did this sort of across the game. We kept going back to text and doing this level of
You
sort of
need
like
to do
honing
this. You
in
need to
on,
edit
like,
the
it has to focus on the clue where
freaking
people
dialogue. It's so good.
And then sort of as a corollary
Remove
to
anything
that,
that's lore only.
5B, remove
Amazing.
anything that actually is lore only. We used to have these signal devices on 2 of the planets, and it explained in the story how the Nomai communicated when they were stranded on 2 different planets, but it didn't have anything to do with any of the 4 major curiosities, and we didn't want to set like a bad precedent, so we got rid of them.
I love that. I landed on the sun station. Get in the Discord, folks. Oh gosh. Hell yeah. Okay. I love this. Remove anything that is lore based only. So, I guess the way I usually word it is that if it does not serve the story, remove it. You don't need it. Yes, it's a really interesting part, but it doesn't do anything to the story. Fucking remove it. Your story will become so much better if you just remove stuff that it does not serve the story. Like for example, this one. This is really interesting thing, but on the bigger scale, it doesn't do anything for the story. What the story is the 4 big mysteries, right? It doesn't do anything for the stories. It's just a fun little thing, right? Remove it. You don't need it. Like, the game will not suffer. Like, I think a really easy way to like test and like understand what exactly is good to remove. If you remove this part, does the story suffer? If the answer is no, then just remove it. Literally. You can just like write a blog post and this is removed. And then done. You've told the world that this is removed. This part is removed. You've done your job, basically.
Curiosities, and we didn't want to set like a bad precedent, so we got rid of them. 6. Quest markers are your friend. Except you can't believe number 6. Quest markers are the first evil. I'm sure I'm not the only one who finds screens like this just like panic-inducing. I just, but
this
the real
is scary.
reason I kind of have an issue with quest markers, or at least the way they are done a lot, is that they make it easy to progress through the story without understanding why you're progressing through the story.
Yes.
It's
like
kind of
brain
go down
dead.
and treat it like a checkbox list, and then you're done, but you might not actually have any idea what happened.
Yes. It is easier for players to get invested when understanding the story is a requirement for advancing the story. It definitely is. Unless you painstakingly got to the vessel but not inside, so you don't have a marker. Listen, it's part of the gameplay. It's content, by the way. It's content. I got content because of it. It's funny. You guys are laughing at me, which is great. But yes. And now we're still talking about it. Awesome. Anyway, yeah, but like I said before, usually we're being handheld into the next part of the quest, and then the next part of the quest, and the next part of the quest. And then you're like, right, all I want to do is just to progress. I don't want to know why I'm progressing. I just want to progress. And like, you can't do that in Outer Wilds. You gotta know why you want to progress. It's a game that rewards curiosity, again. And I love that for them. Fair. Yeah, see, sometimes stupid things I do are for content. Including you guys bombarding me with fart sounds. Like, I don't mind that. Like, you guys will know when I actually get annoyed, because my tone of voice will be completely different. I will be very strict if I don't like something. But, you know, it's all fun and games around here. Everything that happens on stream, I am completely not bothered by it. Like, I lied 57 times on stream every single time. So, like... No, I don't. Oh, you weren't annoyed? Got all these channel points, and for what? I mean, there's other rewards. You can, I don't know, you can make me do a cover. You can also become a VIP. You can make me sing everything. You can make me speak in Indonesian for like 5 minutes and time out someone. You can make me exercise, but I mean, you guys want to play fart sounds all the time. So, I mean, it's fine, I guess. It's Oh dear. Well, jadi semangat. Yang nggak ngerti semangat ya.
Which can be an issue if you're getting deeper and deeper into the story. And one of the really cool things we saw is with the way the game is structured in Outer Wilds is that we noticed that it's easier for players to get invested when understanding the story is a requirement for advancing the story. And then I'm just going to do a quick shout out to Breath of the Wild, because they do this cool thing where they do use quest markers, but it points you to the person who gave you the quest, not to where the quest is leading you. So you still have to sort of pay attention to the actual information that's being given to you.
Yeah. Okay.
7,
Okay.
Create narrative suspense. This is another one I almost feel bad about even including, because it's pretty much just people want to know how stories end. Like
Oh yeah. Jadi kan I hope I can remain in English because I ain't no way. There's nothing about it. Enggak. Jadi bakal ngomong kok, tenang aja. Cuman tadi bingung aja mau ngomong apa. Karena kayak apa yang udah diomongin sebelumnya itu apa yang diomongin di videonya, jadi kayak bingung aja. Apa what apa narrative suspense, iya. Jadi tadi mau ngomong apa ya, ending orang tuh apa, jadi kalau dengerin cerita itu kan gimana cara ngomongnya jadi biar orang ngerti. Ini lebih susah daripada yang saya bayangkan, teman-teman. Jadi kan setiap cerita tuh kan ada kayak depan, bagian awal, tengah, sama akhir, ya kan? Three act structure. Act 1, act 2, act 3. Salah satu act 1 itu kan kayak pertanyaan ceritanya tuh apa, and then act 2 itu progresnya untuk mencapai endingnya itu. Nah, act 3 itu endingnya. Kalau permasalahannya adalah biasanya orang tuh ke act 3 itu kayak nggak merhatiin act 1-nya tuh apa. Jadi kayak ending sama pertanyaannya di depan sama di akhir tuh kayak nggak nyambung gitu loh. Itu kayak masalah yang besar banget. Jadi padahal kan tujuannya ada ending itu kan untuk menjawab pertanyaan X1 gitu. Kayak untuk menjawab pertanyaan yang ada di depan ini loh. Pertanyaan kayak kalau misalnya kita kan kayak ini kan ceritanya pertanyaannya adalah gimana cara sampai ke Eye of the Universe, ya kan? Terus di endingnya adalah kita pergi ke sana. Itu good. It's itu tuh bagus gitu loh, karena walaupun premis kita sendiri kita mainnya itu kayak nggak menjawab beda gitu kan, hooknya tuh kan beda, tapi pertanyaan ceritanya kan itu ya basically ini tuh kayak lebih kayak Singlish gitu daripada Indonesian beneran. Basically di depannya itu kan job si Nomai-nya ini kan penasaran, mereka nyampe ke sini ke star system ini tuh ketemu signal dari Eye of the Universe. Terus pertanyaannya adalah gimana cara pergi ke sana. And endingnya itu adalah kita pergi ke sana. Itu bagus gitu karena itu menjawab pertanyaan gitu loh. Kalau endingnya beda, ini depannya ya cerita depannya ini semua yang udah ada di depannya itu kayak nggak guna gitu loh. Jadi orang nggak suka. Jadi ini permasalahannya sama plot twist. Kenapa plot twist tanpa dikasih foreshadowing di depannya itu jelek banget, karena again narrative suspense. Orang mau tahu endingnya bagaimana. Kalau misalnya endingnya itu nggak sesuai sama pertanyaannya, what are you doing? Lu ngapain gitu loh, kayak nggak usah bikin cerita aja sekalian. Kalau gitu pertanyaannya harusnya depannya beda dong gitu loh, kayak like that. She speaks Indonesian like I feel Malay, I feel seen. Kan emang Malay sama Indo tuh mirip guys, kayak sadar lucu banget deh. Jadi kayak apa namanya siapa ya, Connor kalau nggak salah, Connor Sea Dog. Waktu itu pernah lihat klipnya Connor, dia ngomong dia pergi ke Indonesia, habis itu dia tuh nggak ada orang Indonesia di kelompoknya yang dia pergi itu, tapi adanya orang Malay. Jadi orang Malay habis itu ngomong sama orang Indo, habis itu mereka ngobrol berdua, entah bagaimana mereka bisa mengerti, like ya dah gitu. Malay sama Indo kan base-nya like Indo tuh dari Malay. Jadi kayak mirip banget gitu loh. Lu ngomong Malay, gue ngomong Indo, I can understand you bro. You can also understand me, lu juga bakal ngerti gitu gue ngomong apa. So kayak ya itu exactly, itu kayak cara kerjanya kayak gitu. Cara kerjanya itu bener-bener kayak gitu. And it's 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes. I explained the whole things in like 5 minutes. Just here, basically, I meant like the mixed English. I see. No, it's because I'm in English mode, and like to switch into like Indonesian mode takes like some time. So like, it's kind of hard, and in the end it's like I'm doubling things. I'm like using English and then Indonesian. Basically what I was saying is that ending should always answer the beginning, the like act 1 of the story. If you don't answer the act 1 of the story, then your ending is not working. This is why he's saying narrative suspense. People want to know the ending. And so if the ending isn't exactly the way, like isn't answering the beginning of the story, then what the fuck are you doing? Basically.
Wilds,
Is
the
what I was
overarching
saying.
narrative is so mystery heavy. And it's because, you tease people with the start of like a narrative thread and then
And the
explore
thing
here to
is,
find
it
how all
rewards you with those like the thing is, it's so good because you're finding these mysteries and it's rewarding you for trying to like find out and how to solve those puzzles. It's rewarding you. And like when you get rewarded with more knowledge, you're like, this is good, and then you keep on like
lens.
playing the
And
game.
we ended up doing this more and more over the course
Humans
of
are
development on a
simple.
more and more micro
Humans
level.
just want
so
to
we have
know
this
stuff. Humans are
example,
naturally curious.
Nomai says, Coleus is
You see
missing.
a
He
mountain,
vanished
let's
from the
climb
lake bed
it.
cave. Then
Is there
explicit
fall damage? Let's fall.
Directions on how to reach the lake bed
Humans
cave,
are
several
simple
days ago,
people.
and we're unable to find any trace of him. And so we've given you the information of where to go. You don't need a quest marker for that. And then this very obvious, like, a lot of people are like, yeah, I want to know what happened to Coleus. Did they find him? They did. Spoiler. He's fine. And
Yeah,
why did
he's
he
fine.
vanish? 8. Players pay more attention when the story is relevant to their immediate experience.
Exactly.
So this one is, we have this text, we do this happens throughout the game, but there's this really good example on Ember Twin where you're following Nomai text, this path they took from their crashed escape pod to the Sunless City where they eventually rebuilt sort of their society. And the text is giving you direct clues on how to follow this path. And they say, we must hurry because the pathway there is filling with sand. Don't allow yourself to become buried by sand and make sure no one is lost. And the player looks to their
Yes.
right and they're like, oh yeah, it is filling with sand.
Yes.
I should also hurry. And originally the Nomai text didn't actually say this, and we added it because when players feel like they are experiencing the same thing as the embedded narrative they're reading about, we
They're
noticed
going
that
to
they would
pay
a
more
lot
attention.
to that narrative, which is also giving them other clues they need to pay attention to. And so in this case, we wanted them to feel like they were also under similar time pressures and kind of had a similar objective to the Nomai. The downside of this is you really shouldn't stage your embedded narrative thousands of years in the past if you're going to do this style of design, because it just makes it really hard to come up with reasons why the things that happened to this ancient people thousands of years ago, why did they have experiences that are directly related to the player's experience? And I think we worked most of it out in the end, but just, I don't know. I don't know if I would do that again. One of the ways we did sort
Emphasize
of
the
get around that
contradiction.
issue is 9, emphasize
People
the
love contrast.
and
Yes.
so this is on the left, we have Nomai text that says that there was a problem with the power of the orbital probe cannon and that the cannon actually was decommissioned. They're not going to launch it. And then immediately to the right, we have this computer that says 6 minutes ago, the
Yes,
cannon
yes,
totally
yes.
launched.
Contrast. Everything
it
about
creates this
contrast.
obvious disconnect. Well, which one of these is right? And it gets you to go
Anything
investigate
about
to figure
contrast is
out,
awesome,
kind of what's
basically,
going on.
because
Why is this so obvious?
because contrast becomes like visually contrast is eye catching, but like narratively contrast becomes again like it's it's catching the eye basically. If you have someone saying yes and the other person saying no, you're like, okay, why? Why are you saying no and why do you say yes? Right?
It's like contradictory. And then 10, use provocative signage. This one sort of relates to the overarching philosophy of the way we sort of try to get people curious in the game. But it kind of started because we have a lot of these paths on planets. And in the game now, you'll find a lot of signage that tells you where a path is going to lead. And for a long time, we didn't have that. And we were worried about adding it because we didn't want to demystify these environments. And the reason we finally pulled the trigger on that is because if you reach a fork in the road with like 3 paths branching, we didn't want people to just do a random dice roll to figure out which way they should go. We wanted them to have a little bit of information.
How are your shoulders
something
right now?
that made them ask a question of, oh, I know I want to go
Your
on
shoulders
this
are
path 'cause
fine.
I want to know
I know what you're gonna do.
what I've been told about what
Go
might
on.
be at the end.
I know what
And
you're
it
gonna
seems
do.
silly, but a sign actually kind of does that.
This
and
is really
especially if
smart.
You find
This is really smart because crossroads also have signs on them sometimes to help people who has never been there before navigate the world. It is effective. Later, you know, I'm probably gonna end stream soon. You never know. It's almost 3 hours. Time flies by quickly when you're nerding about something you really love. Anyway, yeah, basically crossroads are There you go. Right. Let's do the push-up. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. God. We can't see them? It's okay. I actually do it. Every single time you guys redeem sports, I always do it. Always do it. And I hate it because, yeah. I'm surprised you already know what I'm going to do. I mean, you said shoulders, and I'm like, I see what's going to happen. Yeah, like Crossroads, whenever basically it's immersive, to have those signs, it helps. One, it helps the player. Two, it makes sense.
Find a sign that says gravity cannon. You're like, what the hell? I want to know what a gravity cannon is. But that metaphor sort of extends to the whole game, where we always want players to have a question and be exploring intentionally instead of just sort of aimlessly wandering until they've either combed through the entire environment or just stumbled on something. And that ends the spoilers and the talk. Thank you for listening.
Awesome. Is that done? What's the rest of this?
Do we have any questions?
Right, a question.
Hi. First off, brilliant game. Really loved it. But something that kind of struck out to me earlier in your presentation was you talked about how you cut out everything else that was any kind of other kind of progression-y stuff. Do you feel that that's ultimately antithetical to creating player curiosity? Do you think you could integrate these ideas into a game that was more, say, Zelda-like, for lack of a better term, where you do actually have more explicit progression like that? Do you think that would just kind of kill the whole premise that you had of just having players follow curiosity?
What type of push-up did you did earlier? The knee push-ups. I can't do the normal push-ups. I'm not strong enough for that.
Also, we do have the ship log, which you could argue could be treated as a form of progression. We tried really hard to make it not give you any leading statements, but
yeah, I guess what I'm thinking in terms of progression is actual avatar strength, for lack of a better
The
term.
game that broke me, the ending of Outer Wilds on YouTube. Okay.
Valid for the game environment that aren't necessarily just
yeah,
knowledge,
I think
but yeah.
Totally.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Hey, so
I agree with that guy too. In another genre of the game where not everything has to be intentional and some side quests can be known. Yeah, you could totally put some random thing and just be like, lore. Honestly, I think we do have some side quests, quote unquote. The Interloper, I feel is more of a side quest than a main quest. It's just knowing, oh, right, so the Nomai died because of this, and this is ghost matter, right?
I enjoyed
Polar
the
Fritz.
humorous
Okay.
comment of subtlety is for cowards with the examples you had, but I often find subtlety is a great way to make the player feel engaged, feel like they discovered something that you obviously led them to through clever use of it. So how did you use subtlety in your game, or did you really have to use less and less of it because there was so much discovery in the game?
I think the honest answer is that every single
I think not having a quest marker leads to enough subtlety that, me personally, because having a quest marker is a big yellow sign of here, go here, like the what is it called? The incident with the vessel, it's so obviously there, but then me, person, missed it. It's no quest marker, missed it. It's obviously there, but no, I missed it. Of course I would.
The thing in this game was too subtle at first. And it was just cranking that dial to the point where, because yeah, we didn't want to hit people on the head with anything, but especially when there's so much going on and vying for their attention, if you really want someone to notice something, you kind of just need to be this giant glowy thing in the sky.
Got it.
Yeah, it's It's like a quest marker, but like
So
because there's
playing your
no
game
quest
as a
marker,
designer made me
everything is
super
subtle.
Anxious because you guys are insane. But you made an amazing
I get
game
that.
at the
I
end of the
get
day,
that.
So congratulations. Love it a lot. But did you ever, at some point, because you were going so against what is typically conventional, did you ever have any doubts, either through feedback for like QA, and like how did you stay the course to make this amazing game?
The biggest doubt was definitely that first village I loosely touched on with like the meteor falling and like that was a train wreck. But once we sort of had redone that and had the museum and sort of saw that, once we saw someone sort of be curious and explore on purpose because something made them curious, like the first time we saw that happen, it was like, okay, we just got to figure out how to make this happen for more people. And that was sort of the rest of development, was figuring out how to generalize what a few people do naturally.
Yeah, except for me.
Thank you.
Who literally did not do the museum at all. The game. How long is this? 14. Okay. Let's see if it's actually 14 minutes or if I ended up making it an hour. Yes. Hydrate. Thank you.
Moon Lady. A conscious observer has entered the eye. I wonder what happens now. Can I eat one more marshmallow before I cry? I'll make sure to make this one pretty this time.
Eat a marshmallow before we all die.
This song is new to me, but I am honored to be a part of it.
Oh, is this talking about the ending?
You say time, buddy. Ready? Start.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
This should be cool.
Okay, okay, okay. Let's just watch.
What do you say then? Should I get out the harmonica? Absolutely, buddy. Here goes nothing. Can't wait to play with the whole group again.
This is so honestly, this like whole ending is really wholesome.
Sure. Yep. Go at 'em, Egg.
And you're Rebeck.
Take it away, buddy.
And I love how
got
even
it.
though we
Do my
can't see their
best.
faces, we know which one is which by like their attires alone. It's so cool. This game is so good. We got to analyze why Solon and Piano Solo is sad. Just the solo itself. Also, I found out that in this, I watched like a 10-minute speedrun of it. Like, I found out that this part, the sphere, detects if the player camera is inside of the sphere or not, and it will trigger something once it's like inside, the player camera is inside the sphere. The character blocking is top tier. I know, it's so good! So many parts of it is like just so good. And what the fuck is that? I haven't really gotten to like understanding what those are.
I learned a lot by the end of everything.
A lot of these
Past
designs
is
are
now
just
the past.
really great.
That's, you know, that's okay. It's never really gone completely. Oh my god. The future is always built on the past, even if we won't get to see it. Still, it's time for something new now. Oh, don't do this to me. Even if it's over now, I got a good time learning, but I think the rules are about to change. Ah. Wow, how long has it been since I got to make music with everyone around a campfire? really happy we're all here. You cut it a little. You cut it a little close, don't you think?
Oh,
Well,
Feldspar.
it worked out all right in the end, I suppose. I hope there are
Beasties,
there are
this
beasties
guy,
in the next one.
the best pilot in all of, the best Harshan pilot.
I tell you what, this has been really. Oh my god. I tell you what, this has been really fun, and I got to help make something pretty cool, so I've got no complaints. I mean, not me exactly, but close enough. It's the kind of thing that makes you glad you stopped and smelled the pine trees along the way, you know?
Oh, this is
I
really
believe
wholesome.
we've reached the end of our journey. All that remains is to collapse the innumerable possibilities before us. Are you ready to learn what happens next? I admire your curiosity, friend. Let's find out together.
Oh, this is really wholesome. Oh gosh, no.
Oh my god.
Alright, this surprises me every time. Oh shit.
What the hell is going on?
Literally my reaction. What the hell is going on? Oh my god.
Oh god.
Oh my gosh. Oh, they're making me want to cry too. Gosh. You unlocked a new planet in easy. Oh. Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
God.
People
I
crying
hate
in the
it.
end. I was disappointed.
I hate it.
I had unshed tears in my eyes. Gosh, what the heck? I don't.
Oh, I hate it so much.
I had unshed tears in my eyes. Okay, it was really wholesome for me too. Had 3 marshmallows before boom. It's
shouldn't
okay to
have
cry.
done
It's.
that.
I know it's okay to cry. It was just like it
This
wasn't.
game's so fucking cool.
I was just. It was just really exciting and cool to me that I don't cry. You know, it's a different kind of reaction. This game literally strokes the right parts of my brain. It's like literally strokes the right part of my brain. It's a weird word, but like, you know, wording is weird.
That's what she said.
I knew it. Yeah, it's
Right.
they were right.
We learned so much. I wish I sort of stuck around a bit longer just to figure out things, or delayed the stream, maybe done it tomorrow, or actually looked at the pine trees. God, I never actually took notice of the trees.
I actually never took notice of the trees.
Learning everything. To take off, to fly to new planets, to even landing correctly, even though I never really did that one very well at the end.
Yeah, I never
still
landed
tried.
correctly either. Wow, this is very wholesome.
Finding out landings and mechanics, the radio.
We're
thing,
learning to
I
roll the
never thought
17th
I would
hour,
pick up on
exactly.
Puzzles. Everything connecting, knowing where to go, knowing how to do it, having people come into stream, and people like you, Tyne, and everyone else that came before.
That's so good.
That offered help and suggestions and hints and pointed me in the right direction and helped me
Right,
figure out what my
exactly.
tired, dumb brain couldn't at the time.
No, you're dumb. Your brain is not dumb. You're just tired. It's okay.
Jellyfish and
It's okay, seal person. What's your name?
Ash Twins.
Polar Fritz. Right, Polar
Ash
Fritz.
Twins was like one of my most hated out of all the planets.
Oh my gosh, everyone has their different most hated
One of the most
planets.
Unique ones out there. Hard to deal with, but still really, really fun.
What a beautiful game.
And all
What
the
an
times I
absolute
died.
beautiful game.
God, the hilarious.
The hilarious times I nearly died.
90% of it being flying, crashing, going into the sun, exploding, not knowing what the reactor was in my ship, jumping out of my suit and my ship without. Jumping out of my ship without a suit and suffocating 50,000 times over.
Exactly, that happened too. Going out without a suit and suffocating. Oh gosh.
And people joined along the journey. Oh my god, so many people.
And I guess that's the most wholesome thing, you
Oh
know.
my god.
A lot of people
I
joined
can't
along
stop
with the
crying.
journey.
This is dumb. It's a video game.
No, it's not dumb. It's
Hi,
okay.
Ren.
Ember Twin Caves or the Rising Stand is a nightmare to me. Yeah, I get that. I understand that so much.
Don't do fucking orchestral music during you pieces of shit. Oh my god.
This
Video
game is
Ren.
amazing.
Video game.
It's a stupid video game, but it's amazing. It is absolutely, absolutely amazing. This is so... Oh my
Reading
gosh.
Everything too. God. I've never
just
felt
finished
so
Outer Wilds.
connected
I
and
love that the
emotionally
chat.
attached to people
What
who are
happened?
already
He
dead.
just finished out. I'm so sorry.
God.
I'm so sorry. My attention is literally like everywhere. Wait, hold on. I am blocking the chat. Oh my gosh, there are tears in my eyes also. Look at that in the chat. Toxic Slayer 66. What happened? And then it was like he just finished Outer Wilds. I love how that describes everything. I love how that describes everything. It's what happened. You just finished Outer Wilds. The game is like a collection of phobias, of deep space water, of heights, of enclosed spaces. Yeah, it's like unintentionally collection of phobias. Because I can tell that they're not trying to do that, but it is. See, like, oh. Not everyone cries at the end. I don't. Look, guys. Everyone cries at the end. No, I don't. I'm very sad that I did not, but I mean, yeah. Wait, what is this?
14.3 billion years later.
Oh wait, I saw this too. Yeah. Yeah, I saw this one too. It's so good. Did they have?
I guess this is the
Wait,
DLC.
14 something billion years later. Does that mean that in 14 billion years later, a new solar system will be created that will just like be almost exactly like what we experienced? Is that it? Don't answer. Like, this is just what I'm thinking. Is that going to happen again? Well, yeah. Oh, well, yes. Well, you've already answered. Is she learning after the game ends? Listen, Outer Wilds is a journey of continuous learning. What is it called? It rewards knowledge. It rewards curiosity, and like it just clicked on my head that, oh, wait, does this happen again 14 billion years later? Who knows what you'll find out if you ever watch their VODs. Yeah, well, you know. Oh my gosh. Like, new civilizations are born. New things are created. And new people, bottom right, new people will come to new adventures in the solar system. in the skies. They'll find out new things. It's not the end. Oh my god, someone farted. Wait, what are we watching now? Someone's playthrough of the ending. Really wholesome.
My little scout.
Really, really wholesome. Myth click.
Oh god, I fucking hate it.
It's so wholesome. It is incredibly wholesome. This is probably the last video I'll watch today. Because it's been 3 hours and I do need to do my D&D game. Bang, 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 bang.
Thank you, everyone. Tyne and everyone that came earlier. Zen, thanks for sticking around. Ethan,
Also,
you
no,
too.
the
I
main
don't think
screen,
you're
the
here,
ending
but
screen,
thanks.
no, not yet.
Thanks for
Also, no,
giving
the
me
main
an
screen
audience
has the
to
campfire
finish the
roughly in the
game
same
and
place that
figure
future
out where
universe
I
screen.
was,
Yeah.
and always making
Yeah, I saw
laughs
that.
and-
Not yet. Listen, guys. The problem with D&D is that I have to find friends who don't mind being on camera.
I didn't think I was
Yeah,
gonna get that
that's the
emotional
problem.
when Tyne said that I was about to cry. Oh, the water.
The problem with D&D is that I have to find friends who don't mind being in front of camera. That's the problem. I have friends, but they all don't want to be in front of camera or like on mic, you know, basically. Oh, it's the ending. It's the main tune. Dun, 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 dun. Bum 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 bum. It's such a catchy tune. It's also very nostalgic. It's so good. Anyway. Yes, I'm gonna make a video on this. Don't worry about it, guys. I'm gonna make a video on this and I'll post it on YouTube and it'll be really funny because I like funny videos. It'll also be wholesome probably by the ending of it and me and my clueless person doing everything, not going into the vessel properly, you know, all that stuff. All the highlights of my playthrough. All the funny shit that happened, including all the scuff. Anyway, this has been fun. Been really fun. I was definitely not expecting me to yap for 1.5 hours on the documentary and also like listen to 22-minute video and turn it into an hour because obviously that's what I do. Really amazing. I need to go now. If you guys have not joined the Discord, everybody, come join. Come join so when I finally understand the ending, when I finally understand what the fuck happened, I will nerd out on the Discord and you guys can hear it. Also, schedules are on there, so whenever I get to the DLC or play any other game, you guys will know. I hang out there sometimes too. Whenever possible. Tomorrow, no stream sadly because I have work to do. And yeah, next week, reminder again, next week is Sunday, 7th of September, same time. I will, oh wait, actually not, probably not same time. Yeah, actually same time. I will, oh, never mind. Yeah, birthday stream. I have a little celebration where we can sing songs and just hang out. It's a weird day to stream, so that's why I'm saying it right here. And also, well, not just a birthday stream, a 1-year anniversary of streaming for me. So be there or be square. Anyway, that's it for today. I hate endings because I cannot. 1 year, yes. It has been 1 year since I started streaming. Well, September will be 1 year. September will be 1 year. Not exactly 7th of September, but the month of September I streamed. Yes. And to be fair, like the first step, like since September to like December, I wasn't really serious about it anyway. So I was like doing things casually. It was only like the start of like what, January that I started actually being serious about it. So like, to be completely honest, if we want to ask kind of like the actual time I started being serious streaming, it's like from January to like right now, which is like 8 months. But officially 1 year of streaming. 1 year of streaming, 2 to 3 years of content creation. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, but most of the things that I have done before this year has been like for fun. So, thank you everyone for tuning in and listening to me nerd out on this best game that I've ever played ever. We didn't actually get to play any game, which is okay, which is great, because that means I didn't run out of things to talk about in this game. So, I will see you guys next week, Tuesday. Thank you, Shen, for making this happen. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much for making this happen. Thank you, everyone who has tuned in to this journey. Yes, fart sounds absolutely wonderful. Thank you everyone for being on this journey with me throughout the thick and thins, throughout the stupidity and the dumb shit that I've done, throughout all the phobias that I've encountered and got scared and fucking did not want to do. All right, let it out, everyone. Let everything out. Let all the fart sounds, let all the farts go out. It's okay. Relieve yourselves of the fart sounds. Relieve yourselves of the fart sounds. It is okay. We're at the end. Anyway, yeah, thank you so much. Thank you very much. It has been an awesome journey. And I will see you guys. It's not the end though, because I will see you guys next week. Goodbye!